1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app. On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
Good Wednesday, Dom Giordano Show. All interrelated, all these hypocritical actions of progressives. In a moment, we'll play you this crying video of the governor of Massachusetts saying, well, it's only going to be 2 or 3 months in Roxbury. Roxbury is not like Roxborough. I believe it's a predominantly minority neighborhood in Boston, putting in illegals to a major recreation center there and saying, yeah, kids need recreation, but what are we to do? Good, keep it up. Biden going to East Palestine. We have some contacts of people when all that happened. We'll bring you that, but we'll play the governor, Dan, whatever you tell me. Governor of Massachusetts here, breaking down, and I can understand why. These are kids. This is their outlet. Think boys club. Think recreation center. Listen to the governor of Massachusetts.
Emotional, guys, okay? Because I'm committed to this. Little kids need to be able to breathe clean air. They need to be able to access swimming pools. They need to have lifeguards there who are going to teach them how to swim. And they need to have activities. I don't know what we're going to do for a couple, 3 months. I'll call universities. I'll call other places.
The governor went on to say she is also looking at other locations, but has not said exactly where.
How about getting out of the party that is allowing us to be invaded so that those little kids can't use the swimming pool? How about somebody in the media asking, hey, can we chalk this up to the invasion again, now reaching Massachusetts? Governor Abbott said he's going to send more. I hope he sends 1 million to these cities. Continue to overwhelm them. It's the moral thing to do. It's the right thing to do. And one way or another, they have to be stopped. She's bawling up. She's crying. Yes. Kids not having a recreation center where they can have activities, swimming pool. The one place in a tough neighborhood there, Roxbury. What's the cause of it, though? Well, let's get at the cause. Well, we have to take care of these people. No, we don't. Send them back to where they came from. Those little kids, as Americans, have a right to that swimming pool, not a bunch of people who broke into the country, aided and abetted by Biden, Mayorkas, and progressives like you, Governor. What do you think she would say to that? Well, you're just out of control. Don't we have room for all? No, we don't. If we had room for all, those little kids in Boston would have their swimming pool activities, basketball, etc., would they not? Now, the world went nuts when they closed that school down, Madison, I think it was, in Brooklyn. We had Curtis Sliwa on. I think it was for a day. They probably messed up another day. Here, this is going to be until the better weather, 2 or 3 months, she just said. Well, what are those kids going to do? Well, I'm calling around to all these good luck with these universities. Yeah, good luck with that. Chickens are coming home to roost here. That's why Biden is going to East Palestine, the 1-year anniversary. And we've had a lot of people on before. We hope to get them back on today to give us an update. The mayor today endorsed President Trump and said Trump came when it mattered, when this was fresh. Biden didn't. This is a cleanup tour. This is the scam. In other words, they're cleaning up all the possible things. And then once reelected, heaven forbid if that happens, it will be even worse. How in the world can Biden go to that town tomorrow and not be met with protesters, etc.? He'll come with a satchel bag of money. He'll spend taxpayer money now. He'll probably tell them he knows about this because of Beau Biden. You know the Beau Biden story's got to come up somehow or another. I wonder if Dr. Jill Biden will be there opening a community college. You know, it's better that they not go now. It just calls attention to it. Are they going to say when they're quizzed about it, shut up now, I went? Is that really the response? And where should Biden go next? How about you know the ultimate. That's the first question I would ask. I assume you're going to go to the border now, right? All right, so it's 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All that you have to do is just push pound 1210. Dan alerted me to this. I hadn't seen it till he sent it to me last night. This beheading story. Now, it's still fresh. I haven't seen the cannons drawn yet, blaming Trump and MAGA. But this maniac here who allegedly cut off the head of his father, who was a federal worker,
I don't even know if it's alleged.
and has claimed all kinds of record deals and books that he's written, etc., has been acting out. You know, my first instinct on all this stuff, the first thing I look at, why was a net not thrown over this guy before? No one shows up, cuts the head off of the father, and then goes on YouTube with it, allegedly. Why was the net not thrown on him before? Now, in this, there's no weapon other than a handy machete and a giant kitchen knife, apparently, as crazy as this is. And it's in Levittown. Levittown is quintessential calm America. The Levittown homes, the whole thing. So how does it happen there? Well, it could happen anywhere. Why did this guy, there'll be a whole litany of things over the next 24 hours that he was engaged in and nobody stopped it. Of course, I haven't seen him say MAGA, but he's talked about civil wars, revolutions. He had to kill the father. He wants everybody to go and kill anybody born before a certain year because they've destroyed the world for young people. I forget what the year was. We have to mark that down. He also talks about the federal government. One of these Democrats will take the bait. They'll jump in there today. Some in the media will jump in there, and you'll hear them talk about this was influenced by incivility, Trump, the whole deal. You know it has to come to that. The details are still fresh, but that's just about what we have right now. All right, but this governor of Massachusetts, I think she genuinely feels this. Here's little kids with not many resources in life. This is the opportunity. And what do? We have a bunch of people who don't belong here taking over the recreation center and living there. That's the deal they made. Yet in Boston, they'll still line up and they'll vote for every Democrat in the world again. Same thing as in Philadelphia. So you get what you deserve. And they deserve it. They deserve thousands more. Denver. Here is the Denver mayor, Mike Johnson. Denver, that's quite a ways away. Here's what he said about what's happening because of the border.
So, Mr. Mayor, you got a tough challenge now. You got 40,000 migrants. That's the highest per capita for any city in the country.
Yes.
At what point does your city reach its breaking point?
Yeah, I think our city is very close to its breaking point now, and we've been talking to leaders in D.C. around the country about why we needed to take action here. I think we have successfully welcomed almost 40,000 migrants in the last year, and we know what it takes to do this successfully. We just need that help, and the things we need are, yes, we need federal dollars, but the most important thing is we need, work authorization for folks when they arrive, and we need those resources.
Dan, stop it, please, right there. No, buddy. You're not undercutting American workers again. Whatever these Senate Republicans, you're not getting work authorization. There's no way they can work here. They're illegal. Why should they be able to work here and undercut American workers on wages and everything else? We need work authorization. That's illegal. Here's a little bit more of the mayor.
Yes, we need federal dollars, but the most important thing is we need, work authorization for folks when they arrive, and we need those resources at the border so you can add more security at the border and so you can help process those asylum claims so the folks that do arrive here can work. The challenge we have is you have someone that'll arrive in Denver who's been admitted on an asylum claim, but their court date for their asylum case is 6 years away. And they're in Denver for 6 years without an ability to work and support themselves. And that means we have to support them. And that's not what they want to do or what we want them to do.
Let's talk about that work authorization. Are you concerned that passing something like this will only incentivize more people to come across the border to take that route?
And this is why I think you do have to do both parts together. You do have to decide on a border admissions policy, and you got to enforce that policy. And I do think part of what's in this proposal is a path to both manage that entry at the border in a way that we can maintain.
Back to this again. We're fighting this battle all day long. I have to say that Mike Johnson has been tremendous here. Mike Johnson now saying clearly we should allow no one in under these. They stay in Mexico, the Trump policy, the asylum policy. He's being clear on this. And tip of the hat to Fisher-Pine Leslie, who said, are you watching this? She's hitting me on Twitter and all over the place. I got it at 10:42 last night. Am I up? Come on now. How could you even ask that? Of course. And let's give the Republicans some credit. They moved it out of committee, and they were there to, I don't know, it was past 11 o'clock, I think, with Democrats trying to run out the clock in some way. Of course, Mayorkas deserves to be impeached and kicked out of there. Why not go after Biden on this? I don't think politically that's where we want to go. I want to keep it in the news with Mayorkas, but not go too far with it, not get into it with the president and distract it with that. Let's do it with Mayorkas, keep it in the news another month or so at least, and keep the border going. That's the key here. Yes, Dan. Thought you had something.
No.
Your head was tilted in. All right, let me give you the side question today. Yesterday, someone even called in with it. I noticed it too, that it was the 94th birthday of one of the greatest actors of all time. I'm telling you, Popeye Doyle, all-time great cop character, particularly the chase. I love that chase when he catches up to the guy. Oh, under the L in New York. So he's a character actor, though. He's a supporting actor. I know there you could argue in some films he has been the lead, like is Mississippi Burning. If you haven't seen it, it's worth seeing the shaving scene of the racist. He's an FBI agent when he shaves the guy in a barber shop. The guy's getting shaved and he takes over. Oh, man.
It's true, though. He's kind of like even in Hoosiers, where he's a leading man, he's still playing that character actor type, the typecast that he's always the curmudgeonly kind of gruff individual. Yeah.
And he was wrong at the end of Hoosiers when he goes, all right, we're going to trick him here, picket fence. And they look at him, Jimmy's taking a shot. What do you mean Jimmy's not taking a shot? And he goes, I'll make the shot. Yeah, you know what? I have to say as a basketball coach, I don't care what you do. My guy's taking the shot. That's the way it works. You're going to ride that guy. We're not riding some guy on the bench. We're going to trick him. Put Borowski out there. That'll fool him.
Yeah, you got to do the trick play. Come on. That's how it always works.
No, Jimmy's taking the shot. You know what's going to happen. All right, so hit us with that all-time great character actor. Now, you may not know their stage name. In fact, one of the greats, I'm not even sure how to pronounce his last name. It's Fredo, who not only played Fredo, John Cazale, but he also played a great role in Deer Hunter in the wedding scene with his wife, etc. And I'm going to take Harry Morgan off, Dan, MASH and Dragnet. Harry Morgan, great example of a character actor.
Yeah, it's a great one,
so
too.
Females can be character actors. You don't need their name. You can say the person that was in this if you don't know the name. How about you, Dan? Who's your character actor?
Well, one big one that is still around, but not acting anymore, but more so making strange YouTube videos. How about Uncle Eddie, Randy Quaid?
Oh, yes. That's an all-time great.
Always playing that kind of off-kilter individual, a little out there. Independence Day flying into the...
Yes, in
Independence Day.
Independence Day, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another guy I'll take off, just because I love talking about him, just because I think he's such a great guy, but always played weird parts until he finally got that leading role on HBO with Boardwalk Empire, that being Steve Buscemi. I think he's a great character actor.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I didn't like Boardwalk Empire. I never got it and got into it. I don't know why, but he was so annoying in The Sopranos. I was glad when he got shotgunned.
He was very annoying in the Adam Sandler films for the most part.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, what else was he in that was very annoying?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he is a great actor. Oh, Fargo, the movie.
Yeah.
Not as annoying as the big guy. I don't even know his name, Swen something or other, that plays the cohort kidnapping people. That guy is very annoying. Marlboro Man. All right, 855-839-1210. Hit us with that all-time character.
Big Lebowski.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, he's in. That is a very good one. And this governor of Massachusetts, Biden going to East Palestine. It's going to be very interesting to see the reception he gets. I bet he's not there more than 15 or 20 minutes because I think it's going to be hostile based upon what we've seen before. Well, you ought to be lucky. President of the United States coming to see what the government did, how far along they are, etc. I don't think so. And this just underscores what Trump gets that Biden does not. He'll bring a lot of money with him. That's what he does. He'll say Beau Biden, at least behind the scenes, and people will go, where were you? Not only that, you do it on the 1-year anniversary. I think you do it on an off day. Like, yeah, I've been busy, but first chance I got, I came to East Palestine. All right, 855-839-1210.
Rich Zeoli.
Every time I see you on TV, man, I got to say, you got this Sonny Corleone hair going and it looks great, man.
Thank you. Luckily, I don't have Sonny's temper all the time. And unlike Sonny Corleone, I have Easy Pass. Thank you for getting that, guys. I appreciate that.
What a reference.
Sonny Corleone at Easy Pass, he'd be alive today, damn it.
Rich Zeoli, weekday afternoons 3 to 7. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics. Call them today. Hey, Dawn Stensland here. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain from arthritis or a past injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility. Reclaim your independence. Walk and run, play, live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Just call my friends at QC Kinetics for a free consultation, 215-999-3000, 215-999-3000. QC Kinetics. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Wrap your family in a comfort food hug with Hatfield's variety of marinated tenderloins, pork loin fillets, bacon, ham, ground pork, and sausage. With over 24 distinct flavors that can be ready in minutes, it's food you'll feel good about serving. Bring warmth and flavor to your table all winter with Hatfield. Visit simplyhatfield.com for recipes and to find a retailer near you. Find your flavor with Hatfield.
Want a hot investment tip? Get a new roof. When installed correctly with the correct shingles and venting, you can save loads of cash on your heating and cooling bills. Plus, it adds to your home value. Trust PJ Fitzpatrick to get it done right with a lifetime guarantee on materials and labor. PJ Fitzpatrick has thousands of 5-star reviews and over 40 years of experience. They can install most roofs in one day. Visit trustpj.com today to set up a free design consultation and take advantage of generous winter promotions.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. Each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Tom Giordano Show. Welcome in. So, boy, look at this. The Philadelphia Inquirer has an article that seems to be a bit critical of you-know-who. I'm not going to say her name. You know who I'm talking about. And her private jet. Because you-know-who is going to be jetting back from Tokyo for the Super Bowl. And the Inquirer says, well, one of her big platforms, one of the things she talks about a lot is climate. And the numbers are staggering. You're coming back from Tokyo to Las Vegas and then going back to Melbourne in a private jet with just a couple of people. Well, Greta Thunberg and other groups had called for a ban on a private jet airport near London. Others, such as Bill Gates, have touted carbon offsets as a way to counter these emissions. And this is a lot of money for you-know-who. I support the idea you can have a private jet. You can do whatever you want. Just stop talking about climate then. You can't talk about it. That should be the penalty. That's when you're fine. When you lecture on climate, and you're flying around in a private jet, particularly 14,000 miles, I think you're out of bounds. You know, I'm still coming back and still on Twitter from yesterday with Travis Kelce. But this has reached yesterday unbelievable proportions. And of course, the media trying to say any criticism of the couple is all deranged, like that woman from One American Network, who seems to be almost a plant. She was almost put in there to make deranged comments about these two and about pro football so that we'd all be tired by that. But I think the criticism still is justified with this, and it's going to continue. Now, Dan, you're in the camp that you think just don't talk about her and it. And then when she drops, we have a pizza bet, right? So I'm saying that she will make a full endorsement of Joe Biden. That's my side of it. If not, I buy the pizza.
Yeah.
And you don't believe that.
I just don't. She doesn't have anything to like. What does she have to win at this point by endorsing Joe Biden? I don't know. She'll probably make references as to why she leans left and all. But what I feel like we're doing right now is we're driving people away from conservatives. We're looking like the old man waving our fists at the air saying, "Oh, Taylor Swift, we must condemn her before she gets in front of everybody and supports Joe Biden." I think that in itself is driving people to the polls against conservatives because we look so out of touch. And then we ask ourselves, why can we never get young voters? This is the kind of reasons that we can't get young voters, because instead of talking about issues, we're going after someone like Taylor Swift because we're assuming that she's going to come out and politically support Biden.
Well, she did in 2020. She does around causes like this. She goes nuts.
If you go on TikTok, Instagram, and look at the moderates that we're trying to capture to it, they're making fun of us. They're making fun of conservatives right now because they seem so out of touch that they're saying, "Oh, let's turn Taylor Swift into some kind of pariah." I don't know if that benefits us in the long run.
Well, I'm looking at a story today. Gen Z doesn't look like it wants to vote. Big story, big problem for a youth vote for Democrats. They will move heaven and earth to get her to endorse. And her endorsement, I would argue, I wanted to ask people, whose endorsement really matters? Now, I can think of a couple. If RFK Jr. endorsed Trump and said he's getting out because Biden just can't do the job, he's not going to do that for a lot of reasons. I think that endorsement would carry some weight. I'd have to say right now, though, at least for Democrats, if I were there in the Oval Office, the biggest endorsement you want is Taylor Swift. And I want her to do it on a fairly regular basis, reminding people. That's the biggest endorsement you can get. So if that's the case, how do you deal with that? How do you diminish that endorsement? You don't do it like the woman from One American Network that we played yesterday. But you just can't sit there.
Yeah, but I feel like by trying to get ahead of it, we're screwing ourselves. Like, let's wait for the moment, because right now what we're doing is we're alienating people out, Dom. That's all it comes down to.
How are we? I mean, how am I? Do you think people are alienated by what I've said about
Because
Taylor
right
Swift?
now, this is Donald Trump's election to lose.
Right.
It's so in people's face, the inflation, the border, everything, the crime.
Numbers don't show that it's his.
I know numbers don't show, but if they just play this smartly, if they just point out what the hell's going on, what these progressives are doing, instead of attacking Taylor Swift and trying to. Because right now they could be sending the message out there as to, hey, you know what? We could be the ones going after big college right now. We could be the ones helping young people. But instead, we're saying out there, we're trying to say, oh, you know what? Let's just credit Taylor Swift, which isn't going to work for the young generation. It's just going to blow up in the back of the faces of conservatives. And I'm with you, because I've been saying since day one, especially with the issue of abortion, Swifties are going to go straight out to the polls to vote. If Taylor Swift says anything.
She's the biggest endorsement, so I do think you got to get ahead of it subtly.
We got to do this smart.
Yeah, well, and we agree some of the negatives that are out there. This takes finesse. It takes being calm about it, not getting nuts when we see this play out. I agree with all that. Phone lines are 855-839-1210. It's the biggest endorsement right now. I know for some people that's hard to believe. But if she hits a sweet spot, because Democrats are going to have a hard time getting Black and Latino voters either to vote for Biden or to come out. They may just not vote. Obama can say whatever he wants. That's not going to work. That endorsement has been played. They're not going to be able to drive that only so much. They're going to play the race card. They're going to do all that. That's not going to drive it enough. The other vote they need, maybe even more importantly, younger voters. Abortion looks like it's not as big of an issue as it was in 22 and 23. It's calmed down, particularly Trump is golden on it. So that's why Taylor Swift and the whole phenomenon of it is so important. That could be the thing in a swing state or two that drives the vote. The other thing I put up on Twitter, out of the 7 swing states, a new poll out today, Bloomberg poll, they have Trump ahead. The weakest state for Trump, though, is Pennsylvania. What in the world? Why is Michigan? See, I'm not buying Michigan. On election night, I predict Joe Biden will win Michigan. I just don't see Michigan as a winnable place. I see Pennsylvania as a lot better shot for Trump than Michigan. But Pennsylvania is the number one swing state, huge swing state. Every person in the world that looks at this says the same thing, where Trump is having a harder time. He might be ahead, he might be tied, he might be right in that zone. Georgia, Arizona look pretty good for a lot of good reasons. Not Pennsylvania. I will be surprised if he wins Pennsylvania because I don't see the urgency. I don't see it, the mail-in ballot stuff. I don't see any of that. I don't see the emphasis here. And Biden is emphasizing Pennsylvania. He gets it. So if we don't win Pennsylvania, I am not that hopeful. All right, 855-839-1210. Coming up, we're going to talk with Seth Williams, former DA, friend of the show in Philadelphia, about what all this means on stop and frisk. He employed stop and frisk as a DA along with the police commissioner and Mayor Michael Nutter, and it was successful. We have another cop shot this morning, I think around 6 a.m., shot in the hand, or the bullet bounced off somehow or another his bulletproof vest, serving a warrant in North Philly. It's an endless cycle of this. And again, did the cops make the wrong move in the shooting in that bodega? Did they because one of them shot the other cop? Okay. Did they make the wrong move, though? No. This guy was a known felon. He did have a gun. They acted within Terry stops. That's what stop and frisk is. If you know the person and know their records, that goes a long way under certain circumstances to be able to stop and frisk them. That's what the Constitution says. So we'll see what Seth Williams says. But the way to deal with Taylor Swift is something you just can't fly around, because anybody that says some wacko thing like that OAN woman, that's going to be the face of it. And you got some people for their 15 minutes that are going to say wild stuff. Vivek Ramaswamy says the Super Bowl essentially is fixed so that Kansas City will get more play. I don't know if the line's going to show that. The line I saw this morning still had around 2.5. I would take Kansas City. I think Mahomes is that good. I really don't think San Francisco has much of a chance here.
I think I boil my take down into one, general statement. And that's, I just don't want to roll out the red carpet for a Taylor Swift endorsement and give her reason, incentive to endorse. Because I don't think if the conservatives give her reason to spite, then I think we're just giving her more reason to offer that endorsement by creating this whole meme-worthy, cringe-worthy, reaction to Taylor Swift.
All right, I'm already eating that margarita pizza. It's baked already, whatever we do. She wants to be taken seriously, that tape with her father and all that. This is the last thing she doesn't have. She's got everything. She's got a boyfriend that she seemingly is in love with at this point. She's got over $1 billion. She's celebrated.
She has the potential to burn herself. Like, there's got to be some people that are in her audience that lean to the right that will be kind of miffed with Taylor if she gets political.
She may feel that that's not that. Well, she doesn't think. Remember, she doesn't think she's gone overboard calling Trump a racial white supremacy and all. She believes that's just a fact. I don't know who she listens to, but I would be shocked if she doesn't endorse around this. And she'll probably wrap it up in abortion, too. Something along those lines. But when even the Inquirer says, my God, that's a lot of jet fuel. All right, we'll take your calls on all this. And Seth Williams, who really has been successful at this, I think this is an all-out attack to stop Sherelle Parker by the Inquirer from doing stop and frisk Terry stops, which work. He'll lay it out in great detail. Someone who actually succeeded by doing this without violating people's rights. It can be done? Yeah, absolutely. Not saying it's the easiest thing, but it's not the most difficult either. All right, your calls too with Dom and Dan on Talk Radio 1210.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, it's Toby from Wendy's. Our new breakfast burrito is a fully loaded breakfast. I don't even know if I have enough time to tell you everything that's inside. 2 fresh cracked eggs, seasoned breakfast potatoes, 6 strips of bacon, cheese sauce wrapped in a warm flour tortilla. Yes! Now, come and get it. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new breakfast burrito.
Only at participating U.S. Wendy's.
For a complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules.
Millions of Americans are losing their medical assistance or Medicaid coverage. If this affects you, Independence Blue Cross can help. You may be eligible to enroll in a health plan for as little as $0 a month. With Independence Blue Cross, you get the largest provider network in the area, including most Keystone First doctors and hospitals. We also offer free 24/7 telemedicine, coverage for hospital stays and prescriptions. See if you qualify for $0 health insurance and enroll today. Call Independence Blue Cross at 1-844-464-2583 or visit ibx.com/stay covered.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Weather sponsored by the Piazza Auto Group.
Quiet weather continues across the Delaware Valley today. Skies mostly cloudy. Will be chilly with a high temperature right near average of 42. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, low 35. And for Thursday, some sunshine returns and milder, high 52.
At Piazza Honda of Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pottstown, Reading, and Springfield, get financing as low as 2.9% for 36 months on select new models, including the 2024 Accord, Civic, and HR-V, only for a limited time. Shop PiazzaHonda.com today.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Tom Giordano's show, Big Issues, Big Guests. It seems almost like the golden age, and it wasn't that long ago when you had 3 competent guys running the city of Philadelphia. Mayor Michael Nutter, Police Commissioner Ramsey, and DA Seth Williams. And the murder rate and other things of that nature were all much different than they were now. And they were engaging in exactly what Sherelle Parker ran on, at least at a major level. But there's a roadblock out there. It's not just Larry Krasner, it's the Philadelphia Inquirer. So let's bring in Seth Williams, former DA here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Seth, welcome in. And so I don't forget this question. What was the DA, the Inquirer's attitude back then? Did they think it was oppressive in Philadelphia? I don't remember that.
I don't think so. I mean, I ran on a platform of being smart on crime, and I was endorsed by the Inquirer. So I don't know when the ship changed, but it has changed, unfortunately, for the citizens of Philadelphia. But Dom, it's always a pleasure to be on here with you and to talk to you and your listeners here on 1210.
Well, thank you, Seth. And when I think about that, and again, you guys were very good stewards of your role and effective, and the strategy is constitutional. Explain, I saw something today, and I wanted to ask you that it doesn't have to be probable cause. It's reasonable suspicion in these cases. Is that the standard?
Correct. So just, I hate sounding like a law school professor, but I was one at one point, right? It's important, and your listeners are very educated people, so they'll understand it, that when the Founding Fathers created the Constitution, of course, and they settled later and negotiated the Bill of Rights, right, the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution, they wanted to make sure that unlike when we were ruled by the English and the monarchy, that we would be free of unreasonable search and unreasonable seizure of our places, our persons, our things, our homes, right? But there are always exceptions. There are exceptions to all of the rights that we have. And so then in 1968, in a case known as Terry versus Ohio, the Supreme Court ruled that if a police officer had reasonable articulable suspicion to stop a person, then he or she also had the right to pat them down, right, to touch the exterior of their clothing, not to go in their pockets originally, but just to pat them down. And if that officer felt what they thought reasonably, based on their professional experience or personal experience, was a weapon or some sort of contraband, they had the right to not just have to go and get a search warrant and come back, risking public safety issues while they're doing all of that, but they could just remove the weapon from the person. And so stop and frisk comes from that case, Terry versus Ohio. Stop and frisk is not a policy that a mayor, a city council, a governor can whimsically decide, I think I'll use it now or not. No, from Oak Lane to Oakland, it's the law of the land. So if the police officer sees what he or she believes is some sort of crime is afoot, they have the absolute right to stop that person and to communicate with them, to also pat them down. And if they find the weapon, they can remove it without having to go get a search warrant. That's what it stands for, stop and frisk.
Yeah, and it seems to me if they know this guy, they see what they think is a gun, and they know this guy's history. Now, just because you have a history doesn't mean you can be stopped every 30 seconds. But what about the Inquirer's argument, which is the inherent dangers in stop and frisk? I don't get that because I think they're being proactive. I don't see how there's more of a danger in using stop and frisk.
Well, Don, there's an inherent danger now of living and doing business and visiting the city of Philadelphia. There's an inherent danger and risk of being a police officer or just a person going to school in Philadelphia. To say that we're just going to abdicate our responsibility of stopping people that we believe have weapons or are dangerous or committing crimes that's just insanity, right? People in Philadelphia want an end to the senseless violence. They want an end to the gun violence. They want an end to the crazy thefts that we have. But we have to do it in a way that is reasonable, responsible, most importantly, constitutional. And so with what happened last week, my heart goes out to, of course, the police officer that was shot and to the family of Mr. Spencer, the gentleman that was murdered, right? But the police officers were doing what they call a security check. So often businesses where there's a lot of crime, and I think, my hat goes off to Commissioner Bethel and the words from him and Mayor Parker. But Commissioner Bethel stated, Philadelphia has about 22, 23 police districts. But in 10 of them, we had 80% of the violent crime. And where this took place is one of them. And so the owners of this business have contacted the police. So the police have a routine of every shift maybe going into that place, right, and like signing a logbook to show that they were there, right? They need to show a presence in that community. The people where the most violence are want an end to the violence. They want the police. They call the police. They call 911 more than anybody. So the police officers go in, right? They're there for this routine check. They're also on the lookout for someone that was wanted for a recent shooting. They go in, and quickly, from the video, if you heard it and seen it, someone alerts them in Spanish. So often in neighborhoods and police show up, somebody yells 5-0, somebody yells bomba. Something was announced loudly in Spanish to put people on notice that the police had just entered. Police walk in. They're just talking to people. They mention somebody's sneakers. Their weapons are holstered at this time. They spoke to a couple of people, right, as you've seen. And the one individual, they try to speak with him. They observed what they thought was a handgun. And then the other officer alerts his partner when he walked in that there was a gun. They're trying to remove the gun from the individual. They start tussling. He didn't surrender. And the one officer was shot, right? Went through and through his thigh into his calf, exited his calf. He attempted to shoot the individual, but his gun jammed, and his partner did. The gun that Mr. Spencer had, flew down to the front door, and as you saw in the video, Mr. Mendez picked it up and left. Right? They say Philly gonna Philly. That's a very Philly thing to happen, right? So it was a tragedy all around, but that's what happened. And so that evening, as you know, I think Commissioner Bethel's words were right on point. And that, of course, they want people's thoughts and prayers, but we need people to support the operations of the police to bring about law and order and safety in a constitutional way.
Yeah, it's a job. I only went with Cindy Bass when we had that whole thing with the bulletproof glass and I think that's a deli stop and go. And I could tell you, Seth, the guys I interviewed there, and 2 or 3 of them, it's like their nightclub. They're in there all day long, and anything can happen in there. I mean, it is a place that's suspicious of its own. It's just It's a bad anomaly what the laws are around. The whole thing with that. It presents this, and now that you have video games, you're going to have guys in there all day long. And I realize in the neighborhood, that's their fun. That's their thing. One other thing, too. The Inquirer and others don't like the fact that the police said something to the effect of, any of you guys have guns? From what I've been able to tell, that's a question they can ask.
Sure. And see how people behave, see how they react.
Yeah. Yeah. So you take
now again, people, they're not in custody. It's not like it's custodial interrogation, right? So you could say that and you walk up, hey, anybody here got a gun? If somebody runs, well, that's kind of that's suspicious, right?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
That's what happens. And again, we want the public, the people, my Aunt Shirley, folks, they want safety. They want it done in a constitutional way, and there's ways that we can do that. It's very unfortunate that the young man just didn't say, yeah, I got a gun. Right? He might have taken a hit for the unlawful possession of a firearm because he was illegally possessing it. Maybe if he had a record, maybe he's a prior felon not to possess. But that would have been it. Right?
Yep, exactly. Well, look, I know the media may not do it, but I hope Nutter, Ramsey, and you, because to me, this is an all-out assault on what is constitutional. And when you hear stop and frisk, I don't even try to call it that anymore, but Terry stops is better, even if people don't fully understand it. It gets into the constitutionality. But I think you're right. Sherelle Parker and the police commissioner are not going to back down from this stuff. They realize this is an early test. If they give up now, they're never going to go back to it.
Yeah. And we had another police officer shot today.
Yeah, exactly. Serving a warrant. So, Seth, you do great stuff on Twitter, too. Where do people follow Seth Williams on Twitter?
At New Seth Williams.
Yep, that's exactly right. Seth, thank you. Thanks so much for joining us today. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure to be here and help you.
Thank you, Seth. All right,
Take care.
District Attorney Seth Williams. I should have asked him on the side question. He often participates, too. Coming up, this guy couldn't find me on social media. I don't know why. Joe have asked him. Thank you, though, Joe. So he sends it to Greg Stocker. And with all that's going on in the world, what is it that he writes this long missive attacking? Not only pineapple on pizzas, I won't say the name of the place out in Delaware County, but this concoction on pizzas. It outraged him so much that he sent me this passionate email, even though he couldn't find me. He had to go through Greg Stocker, who sent it to me.
To Greg.
Yeah. Think about it. The war in the Middle East, Biden, illegal immigration.
Send Dom this angry pizza email.
Yes. What is more frivolous in some regard, pineapple on pizza or Taylor Swift? I guess pineapple on pizza. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Let me talk to you first, though, about Captain Chucky here, because it's another month about ready to start, a big one, February. A lot going on. Valentine's Day, Lent, Ash Wednesday, Valentine's the same day. Well, you can plan a meal for your sweetheart for a big game party and a holiday weekend, all with just one call. Captain Chucky's Crab Cake Company. Locations are everywhere. Remember to try Captain Chucky's brand new product, Philly Famous Clams Casino, mouthwatering addition to your table. And your local Captain Chucky's, they're perfect for all kinds of things. Salads, stuffed mushrooms, desserts. All you have to do is ask them about it. They're happy to comply. Captain Chucky's, too, several choices of breaded, non-breaded crab cakes, literally a crab cake for everybody. Dessert, soup, sides, appetizers. And they use only the highest quality ingredients. Their Gulf shrimp, a huge hit. It's always wild caught, never farm raised. And you know my all-time favorite. They make thousands of them a week. They're delicious. Try the Dom roll. So visit Captain Chucky's today. Easy to see all the locations and all the goodies near you. Just go to welovecrabcakes.com, welovecrabcakes.com. Get to that nearest Captain Chucky's Valentine's Day, big game parties, welovecrabcakes.com.
Starting this Thursday, February 1st, Kale & Company will be sending someone on a 7-night Disney cruise for 4 to the Caribbean, and it could be you. Listen for the keyword weekday mornings at 8:30. Then go to 1210WPHT.com and enter for your chance to win. Wish you could show your kids the world? On a Disney Cruise Line vacation this summer? You can. On board, enjoy everything from Disney characters and imaginative dining to exclusive spaces for adults and kids alike. And on shore, sun-drenched beaches, charming locales, and crystal clear waters await. Starting Thursday, listen weekday mornings at 8:30 for the keyword. And then enter for a chance to grant your family's summer vacation wishes today. Because the time to show your kids the world is now. From Kale & Company and Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
Police have 2 people in custody after a cop was grazed in the hand by a bullet in North Philly. Bucks County authorities say a man killed and beheaded his father and posted a disturbing video online. And a bill to ban smoking in Atlantic City casinos is one step closer to becoming a law.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Tailgating and watching the birds go hand in hand. And when it comes to tailgating, is there anything better than tailgating with Jack and Coke, the #1 cocktail in the world? I don't think so. And now Jack and Coke and Jack and Coca-Cola Zero Sugar are available in a can, ready to drink at your local PA Fine Wine and Good Spirits store. Jack and Coke, born for the tailgate. Please drink responsibly. Whiskey Specialty, 7% ABV. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniel's and Old Number 7 are registered trademarks of Jack Daniel's Properties, Inc. Coca-Cola is a trademark of the Coca-Cola Company.
When was the last time you watched your home movies?
Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for, their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
It's Dom time. Dom Giordano. Weekdays, noon till 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. So thanks to Joe of Aston. I love the effort. Joe couldn't find me on social media. Okay, so he knows Greg
Hold on,
Stocker.
how can he not find you on social
I know.
media?
Well,
You're all
let's
over the
not
place.
diminish the messenger here. So he gets Greg Stocker, and he says, I listen and love what you guys do. Pass this email on to Dom Giordano. He says to Greg, I'd appreciate it. Can't seem to find any contact info. Dom, from listening to your show, I know you have strong feelings for people putting pineapple on their pizza. Well, I found something more profound. There's a place, I won't say the name, in Delaware County. They serve up a pie with fig jam, goat cheese, fresh mozzarella, sliced peaches, oh my God, and thinly sliced prosciutto.
Doesn't even make sense.
I know. Drizzled with honey. Yikes. I wouldn't want to try that.
It's almost like they're trying to go with a Greek vibe, but then
Yes.
they throw mozzarella and prosciutto
And honey in there, yeah.
It makes no sense.
I was shocked to see this on their menu during a recent night out and thought I'd share this with you.
Did he order it?
Love your show. No, he said now that's the point. This guy was so revolted by this, he had to track me down through Greg to share this sacrilege. I mean, people don't fool around with their pizza here, and this has to stop. Who's ordering something like that?
You know what I think has silently grown as the #1 pizza topping?
What's that?
Buffalo chicken.
Yeah, probably have. I mean,
every time I put out a buffalo chicken pizza at a party, it's always the first to go.
Except for margarita, which I don't even think is an exception. I'm against all pizza toppings. I just think, just eat the pizza. Stop trying to defile the pizza. And the pineapple, we've been through this, is just, but this aberration, fig jam. You see fig jam on your pizza, and you're like, that's it. That's it.
Yeah,
you
that's
can't
wrong.
call it a pizza anymore.
Fig jam?
That is,
No.
that is something you shouldn't be able to put on there and say that's a pizza. You've concocted some Frankenstein pizza. That's what this is. And you ought to pause. Once you go past more than one ingredient that you put on there, you're starting to enter in dangerous territory. You really
disagree
are.
with that. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. There are multiple ingredient pizzas that are delicious, like the Supreme pizza.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't.
Okay, well, I mean, we got that sausage, that pepperoni, the green pepper, the onion, the
Doesn't
olive.
that defy the whole idea of the pizza? It's a staple. There's a reason why it's a #1 or it's growing junk food pizza. Yeah.
Bit
All right.
overrated pizza, gotta say.
Yeah. Pizza's overrated?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
There's no way that's
We
the
ordered
case.
3 pizzas Saturday night for our Royal Rumble party.
Yeah.
And the past 2 nights, we've been eating pizza leftovers. And it's like, we're just over it. Like, pizza, I don't know. Like, when people say they're going to order pizza, I'm like, come on, can we get something else? It's overrated.
That defies
greasy,
it's
it's
a new
unhealthy.
new movement you might be starting here. All right, so 855, and then Maisie likes the chain pizza. I seem to remember.
Well, maybe that's why I don't like pizza as much anymore, because we're getting a crappy Pizza
Oh,
Hut and
that's
Papa
what you're
John's
doing.
and
You're getting it from
Domino's
the
and-
chain.
Oh, it's
With
terrible.
all these pizzerias in South Jersey, where you are now, they're
Ugh.
pretty good too. I don't think they're bad. There's probably 10 of them within 10 minutes.
I used to think they had their own place, but
Yeah.
no longer.
All right.
Yeah, it's trash.
855-839-1210. You get on board. You can get in. Don't forget the side question. We haven't had anybody jump in. Any good ones on Twitter? All-time character actor. Could be a female, too. These are supporting actors. Even when they appear to be the lead actor, this is in honor of the great Gene Hackman. They are not necessarily what you think of the leading man or leading woman.
Well, first off, Jimmy Matthews is coming after you, saying former District Attorney Seth Williams.
I did that intentionally because I'm not. I still would call him DA Seth Williams. I think when you have the honor of an office, well, how many times do you have to? It sticks with you for life.
Oh.
So Alan West is not Colonel Alan West. Of course he is. There's no doubt about that. You ought to be General Alan West.
Philadelphia has a great one on Twitter.
Yes.
And for a long time, he was definitely a character actor, but I think he's broken out of that mold to a degree. Bryan Cranston.
Yes. I think he's more he was a character actor, but I think he's more
like after Malcolm in the Middle and The Dentist, he's
Yeah.
kind of like the jokey,
Right.
serious white male kind of character, and then he goes Breaking Bad and really shows
Yeah,
a
after
diverse
Breaking Bad,
talent.
he's the lead in Breaking Bad. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we're looking for. I think females too. I don't have as many females on my list, but I had Harry Morgan, Dragnet, and MASH, and Fredo and Deer Hunter.
Here's a great one from Mike. Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes.
Beautiful Girls, League of Their Own.
Yeah.
The brash
she,
New Yorker
yeah,
type.
she is a character actor. I mean, not exactly that appealing, but as an actor or actress, she's pretty good in League of Her Own. Yeah. Let's go to Joe in Sellersville. Joe, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to weigh in real quick on the whole thing with the police shooting at Masher and Cambria.
Yes.
And I just wanted to say that I recently got my permit to carry, and when you get that, they give you some literature to read that goes with it. It explains all the rules and everything. And one of the things it says is that if you're ever approached by a police officer, show them your hands, tell them you're armed, and tell them, where the weapon is on you. And there won't be any problems. Now, I don't know if this guy had a permit, but like the ADA said, or even if he didn't, he'd just get a fine or whatever. So
No, I think, this guy's not getting a permit. I don't think he had the right to carry,
Right, but if he just, shown his hands and said he had it, he'd probably be alive today, I think.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. They would have taken him in for other reasons. You're right, but he'd be alive. Yeah, and again, what this is about with Joe, with this, they don't want police to be doing Terry stops. The Inquirer doesn't. They have no other solution to this, and they're going to go all out to try to stop this. So I'm glad you see that, Joe, by being a responsible gun owner. All right, 855-839-1210. My buddy Bill Lawrence, he writes out of Chester County, Delaware County. Headline, Mark Houck is winning committee votes. Across the congressional race of Mark Houck versus Brian Fitzpatrick, there are various committees in Montgomery County and Bucks County, and Mark Houck has gotten the nod by some of these committees. I'll tell you about that, and we'll see what you think. Is he the alternative to Brian Fitzpatrick? As you know, I love the guy and what he stood for and what happened to him with the FBI. Do I think he could win in Bucks County? No, but some people do. I'll give you, I haven't seen this anywhere else but with Bill Lawrence. Your calls are 855-839-1210. We're waiting for the judge to determine whether or not he completely will take away President Trump's ability to do business in New York. That could happen at any moment today. I don't think he's going to do that, but I think it's going to be punitive beyond belief. How many legal, is there a day that goes by where there's not a major development in some legal case? No, several, most days. 855-839-1210. Let me get to you about FanDuel. Happy Super Bowl to those who celebrate from FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. And if you're like me, Super Bowl Sunday is all about scoring the best seat on the couch, grabbing your favorite football snacks, and placing some super bets. Then you transition to Super Bowl, and hopefully you've had something that you like, some kind of a bet here. I'm still telling you, for me, the play is Kansas City. I think they're very dangerous, and I don't think San Francisco is going to be able to cope with them. But you can bet on which player will score a touchdown, how many points will be scored. New customers, you join today, you get $200 in bonus bets if that first bet is $5 or more wins. Here's what you do. Visit FanDuel.com/Dom, D-O-M. FanDuel.com/Dom. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. FanDuel Sportsbook, official partner of 1210 WPHT at the 21 plus. Present in Pennsylvania, $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expires 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's hard to believe Christmas was a month ago, but did you ever wonder what happened to all those gifts you returned? Here's a surprise. A lot of them don't make it back to store shelves. In fact, about 6 billion pounds of returned gifts end up in a landfill each year. But there are alternatives. Today, more and more of these returned gifts and other discarded trash are finding a second life. Tequila Smith heads up sustainability for Covanta, one of the key players making a difference.
We've set a goal that by 2030, none of the waste we process will end up in a landfill. In fact, every day we're helping many of the largest brands, including large retailers, move closer to zero landfill status.
In 2023, Covanta diverted more than 21 million tons of waste from landfills and found ways to recycle more than 1 million tons of waste. So if you haven't returned that unwanted gift yet, maybe you want to make a New Year's resolution to recycle instead. It could make a bigger difference than you thought. Sponsored by Covanta.
At some point today, everybody will use a bathroom. But if you're a contractor, there's an excellent reason why right now you could use a lot of bathrooms. It's the Great Bathroom Break at Colonial Marble and Granite, where every vanity you buy comes with a free stone countertop and free sink. Classic, traditional, contemporary, in stock for pickup or ready to ship. Choose a color and style, get a surface and sink, and you're good to go. So get going. Colonial Marble and Granite, the cornerstone of a beautiful home. Restrictions apply. Visit colonialmarble.net for details on their vanity special.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Tasty Cake has a treat for every John. Peanut butter fans have candy cakes, those chocolate-coated cakes with the creamy layer of peanut butter inside. There's crimpets, the light sponge cakes topped with rich icing for people who like the classics. Donut lovers have options for days. You've got frosted mini donuts, powdered mini donuts, and you can't forget about the delicious new Dip and Sticks flavors. There's so many uniquely satisfying treats to choose from, but there's no surprise because it's Tasty Cake, except no substitutes.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
Dom Giordano Show. Welcome in. 855-839-1210 is how you get on board. So we're going to watch and wait this court decision in New York. The amount of delays, the amount of back and forth with Trump. But today the judge has said before the end of the day, he'll determine essentially what the penalty is. Now you have to realize what Trump is. This is probably the worst case. Because as I understand it, there's no victim that's come forward. There's none of that. It's that they're accusing Trump of puffery. In other words, puffing up what the assets were, what he had, and all that around various business dealings, with no one complaining or no one showing injury as a result of that. But you have a Soros-backed attorney general who ran on getting Trump, and now is the day that we get the verdict. Now, it'll be appealed and all. I know all that. We have the $83 million out there. He's not going to pay $83 million, but it could be substantial. And these are not the criminal charges. So the proposition is this. The thing this is all going to turn on. What percentage? Because I will concede that some people to virtue signal. They know this is weaponization. 83 million. Today we're looking at billions against Trump. But if he's convicted of any of these things, they'll even refer to the civil cases. Then they're going to say, well, I can't vote for someone like that. That'll be the out. But you can vote for somebody who's allowed the country to be invaded, who for his own place in history brutalized us with baked-in inflation, just among other things. Someone who clearly never has been capable. And now, with whatever's wrong with him, it's a whole lot worse, and it's going to get even worse over the course of the next year and then on to another 4 years. That's insane. The danger of Kamala Harris there as president. But I don't know which way it'll go. I would set the percentage of a couple of percentage points of people who support Trump now, if he's convicted in these civil cases, which he is in this one and in the other. And then there's some charge in the indictments of the criminal cases out of the 91 Yeah, some people are going to say, well, I can't do that. Now, I don't understand. Why would you do that? If you don't want to vote for, I mean, how much more evidence do we have of your choice now? It's a binary choice. You see what the difficulties are on both sides here. If you believe this is overkill, and this judge's decision today might be an example, I will be very surprised if he takes away Trump's right or the family right to do business in New York. You know how damaging that would be? That means not only you can't do something like build in New York, it means you can't be headquartered in New York. I mean, it's the capital. It's the capital of his empire, what he built and the family built. That would be devastating. That would almost really cripple them. Are people going to say, on this one, is there any doubt that this is undeserved? Now, the Gene Carroll stuff and all this, and then the other felony charges. But on this, if you believe it's weaponization of every aspect of government, including George Soros-backed attorney, think Larry Krasner. That's what this attorney general's like. Okay. How do you suddenly turn then and say, but now that he's convicted, I now can't support him? There's no logic to that. If you believe this is overkill, you're just doing it to save face. You're afraid people are going to say, well, you voted for someone who's convicted of something. And yes, Trump can still run for president if convicted. As I understand it, I'm sure there'd be a humongous legal battle, but I don't see any hurdles other than it looks to be crazy. He could be president from jail. He could pardon himself in any number of these. The state ones he couldn't. And then we're off to the races. So tell me, step up if you're saying, well, look, I could support him. This is overkill. But if convicted, I'm out. Or if you know people saying that, what's the logic in that? How big would that be? If it's more than 5%, that could be major. You know, in the swing states, most of these are going to be under 3%. I'd set the over and under at 3%. Ultimately, Georgia, Arizona, they'll tighten up. Pennsylvania definitely, I think, will be under 1.5 points. I'd even say a point. That at the end, one or the other will win by under 1 point. That's how close it will be. So when you look at all that, people that peel away because of a conviction, they could determine the election. All right, so it's 855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, all you need to do is just push pound 1210. Now, little updates. I know that Ryan Fitzpatrick is often, everybody checks when we hear, well, 5 or 6 Republicans didn't vote with the team. No, he did vote. Well, I don't think he was on the committee. I do think he'll vote to impeach Mayorkas, though. But he's got a challenger this time around, and Mark Houck. And Bill Lawrence, friend of the show, Bill Lawrence Online, reports that Mark Houck is winning some committee votes. Mark Houck won the 7th and 10th districts yesterday, January 29th, in a battle for the GOP endorsement. Primary election, April 23rd. The district is Bucks County along with Eastern Montgomery County. In previous challenges, Fitzpatrick has practically swept the endorsement races. Houck won the 7th district, 9-6, the 10th district, 7-2. He lost the 8th district, 11-10, and the 11th district, 20-4. That must be Doylestown, is what I'm thinking. The longtime incumbent, Lawrence says, should overwhelmingly be winning these races. All right. Now, as for me, Mark Houck's story, what happened to him, and I think he's going to win massive damages, is just, he's just doing God's work. I get that. I don't think he can win, though, in Bucks County. Now, I don't think the Democrat opponent is overwhelming. Are you willing to roll the dice, though, with Mark Houck? Yeah, maybe we'll get Mark on. Yeah, Dan, that'd be good. Yeah. We'll talk because he is winning these committee votes. Some of them, anyhow. And one of them was really close. Now, usually that's a warning sign. This could be a relatively close race. We're told all the time that Bucks County is they're willing to go with a Republican, but it's got to be, a Republican that's not really going to step out and be conservative on these things. The usual battles of Brian Fitzpatrick. Do I think, though, that kind of district in this election cycle could go for a Mark Houck? He's got some endorsements here, though, and that's a bit unusual as far as these various committees. They must think so. They must be that or tired of Brian Fitzpatrick. Now, the last time he was on, I asked him about the exceptions and all that. I think he still stands beyond it, and that's a matter of principle. I get that, but I'm convinced you can't win in a place like Bucks County if you're not for exceptions around abortion. I just don't see how you can. Now, he's not running solely on that. In fact, I think his race is to remind people about the weaponization of government, about how far our government's gone. And I'm thinking about Mark Houck because I think it's 11 or so pro-life activists who were praying and may have taken over, one or two of them did, the second floor of an abortion clinic, face 11 years in jail under that FACE Act. I mean, this is a administration that's weak on crime, has allowed the country to be overrun, and yet wants to put people praying essentially there to stop abortion in jail for 11 years, even if they're guilty of a violation of the FACE Act. 11 years. And you know with Mark Houck, the excess that went on there. That's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to, and they're going to make a play out of that. Why? They're going to try to run on abortion. But I'm heartened to see, I want to see a back and forth here in Bucks County. I want the Republican, whoever the nominee is in the end, to win. We need to win that seat. It's the last bastion in the suburbs. I don't even know who's running ultimately against the Dean of Decency and the Houlihan, Mary Gay Scanlon. How in the world did this happen in the suburbs? I've talked about that for 10 years, and it's here where it's blue, not dark, not a pale blue, but it's purple into blue. And Bucks County is the only shot right now. So this is a big race, and this is interesting that he's gotten the endorsements of some of the different districts. I don't know how many districts. He'll tell us if he comes on. Let's go to Robert in Ben Salem in Bucks County. Hey, Robert, good afternoon.
Hi, Dom. Dan, it's good to talk to you guys again.
Same here.
Before I get to it, I wanted to send some thanks and props out to Earl. I'm working on a song, a parody song, and despite not feeling well, his advice was just amazing and made it possible. So even though he wasn't feeling well, and he prefaced it with, here's some free advice, which is usually worth what it costs. So
well,
he's
look,
got a great sense of
we
humor.
love all these nights of the round table coming together with these songs. So who knows?
Well, I'm hoping it's a winner, but we'll let Earl decide that.
Okay.
I have a compromise on stop and frisk, Dom.
Yes.
Whenever they try to pass something that is constitutionally ambiguous, they'll throw in something to make it palatable for the opposition until the courts can rule on it. Okay. In this case, that would be a sunset provision. Okay. Even if the courts keep it, every 4, 5, 7 years, it comes up for review and renewal, and it can't continue unless it's renewed.
Yeah. No, I'd be completely on board with it.
Well, libertarian-minded people like me would be on board with it too. You know what I mean? Because
look, and I understand your fears on this, but the Terry stops, Robert.
I agree.
They're not. I'm not on board with just, as I said, even the one guy, if he's a felon or not, you can't stop him every 30 feet.
Right.
But you heard the context. They come into those places to sign a security book. And you got to be in some of these places oh my God. It's like.
You don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me.
It is. Look, maybe the owners shouldn't put video games in there. It's a natural draw. They hang out there all day long. It's a den of iniquity.
Right.
And then they want the cops to come in and say it's secure. Well, difficult.
Well, I would just say that I'm where ideology meets reality, and my constitutional concerns aside, something needs to be done. And I'm just thinking that this is a compromise that we all can live with, because I definitely see your side on this.
No, I agree. I see your side too. Again, we don't want this to be overrunning. And again, I would tell you this: Sherelle Parker is not the type, given her background, her race, her life experience, that's going to allow cops to run over top of people with this. And I think she has people in place to do that.
Well, I'm Republican, but I actually am hopeful that Sherelle Parker is able to do something to help Philadelphia.
Yeah, definitely. So who's your? Go ahead, Rob.
I'm sorry. My answer to the side question is going to be Bill Paxton. I could give you the slew of movies that guy has been in, and he's been great in all of them. But I also have a fun fact. I believe he's the only actor that fought a Predator, an Alien, and a Terminator. I'm serious.
What was Paxton? What was Paxton in the Terminator film?
In the first movie, when he came up to them young toughs when he was naked, Bill Paxton was the one that had the spiky hairdo and smashed the liquor bottle over the viewer thing that they were looking through.
Okay. Yeah, that is very good.
You guys have a great day, man.
Thank you, Bob. Robert. Bill Paxton. I see him more as a leading man, but you know what? In a lot of things, well, in Independence Day, he's the leading. He is more of a support actor, though, when you look at it. I usually see character actors, Dan, as not the handsome guy. You know what I mean? Maybe they could be ruggedly, but they're usually not the startling Hollywood type of actor. Let's go to Bill in Bucks on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Bill.
How you doing there, Dom, Dan?
Good, Bill.
Jim? I just wanted to say a couple of things about Mark Houck. As you know, the Bucks County Republican Committee gets together, they do screenings and so forth and so on, and they vote to endorse somebody for 1st Congressional District. And I'm pretty sure it's going to go to Brian Fitzpatrick. And once you get on the official ballot, I mean, that's it. What do you do? You're on the machine ballot, but you're certainly not on the Republican ballot.
Okay, I hear that, but it's kind of curious, is it not? Yeah, I agree with you. Pat Poprock and et cetera is wedded, I think, with Brian Fitzpatrick. You're right.
Of course.
But
since his brother.
Yeah, but usually Fitzpatrick, the point is, wins these district endorsements. So it tells us there's something going on here, maybe.
Well, I mean, each Republican committee, each township, each municipality, and there's like 50 some in Bucks County, that are going to vote on this. And basically they're all going to go with what the chairman wants, That's what they're going to do.
They haven't so far. One of them was 11-10, 2 others he won.
Yeah, but there's proxies and there's everything else. There's a lot that goes in that mix. And basically, Lower and Central Bucks will decide who that is, not Upper Bucks. Upper Bucks is bright red. Down at Lower Bucks, it's bright blue. What could I tell you? And in between, it's purple.
No, I think that's accurate. I was just kind of surprised, though. I take Lawrence's point. I thought usually Fitzpatrick gets the endorsement.
I would bet 99.9% he will.
All right. Thank you, Bill. I meant of all these districts, et cetera. So is this just hopeless there? I'm hoping people have their shot here, and then whoever wins, they get behind that person. But it strikes me, you got to take the abortion issue off the table. I mean, that's Houck's got an unbelievable story. Fitzpatrick, I understand why people get upset, at least here at Talk Radio 1210. On a personal level, he's great. Some of the issues, though, is he reflecting Bucks County? Yeah, I think he is. Even though that upper part is hugely red. Case in point, just the number of people that were at January 6th that either got arrested or convicted, and a lot of it was Upper Bucks County. Big numbers. All right, so side question today. The great Gene Hackman. Hit us with that all-time character actor. That's what we're looking at. You know, it's a new year. Really is time to focus on your health and well-being. Your oral health should be at the top of your list. That's where I come in to tell you about my dentist, my friend, and board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz of the Bentz Group in East Norriton. Because poor oral care can contribute to all kinds of conditions: endocarditis, cardiovascular disease, pneumonia. Plus, if you have a pre-existing condition like diabetes, osteoporosis, they can affect greatly your oral health. Get on the right track. See my dentist, great dentist and prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz, and address those current issues and possibly prevent future ones. He delivers state-of-the-art care for his patients, great service, second to none. Also, help you get that beautiful smile that you've always wanted. Visit Bentz Dental. That's BENTZ dentalgroup.com. Book that appointment today. BentzDentalGroup.com or call 610-272-6949. 610-272-6949.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Officer down in Philadelphia again. Here's what Mayor Sherelle Parker is saying this morning. Our police officers are on the front lines of our city every single day and every night, putting their lives on the line.
Cool. Now put some policy into effect to back up your words and your appearances and your photo ops. That's all cool. That's all great. That's all good, Andy. I want results now. She's only been in office for a month. I get it, but let's go.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Debt. If you hate debt as much as we do, listen. Debt. It's one of the biggest problems faced by 77% of Americans. A system called Debt Free for Life is a smart, financially unique solution. Not only does Debt Free for Life, a proprietary system that you can access absolutely free, help our clients pay off their debts years, sometimes decades earlier, it can also save them tens of thousands of dollars in interest, build their wealth at the same time, and it does it all tax-free. Find out more now. Go to jmlfinancialgroup.com to get your free report on Debt Free for Life, or call Joe Yakovich at JML Financial Group at 856-751-1771. Remember, access to Debt Free for Life is absolutely free. Check it out now at jmlfinancialgroup.com.
Did you know that most men over 50 have ED? Alpha Men's Center has a 96% success rate with ED. ED has many causes, like high blood pressure, low testosterone, and diabetes. And Alpha Men's Center has multiple treatment options. In fact, for $99, you get a consultation, blood work, and a test dose. And if you don't get results, your visit is free. 484-685-1235. Call Alpha Men's Center, alphamencenter.com. 484-685-1235.
When you give someone jewelry, you're showing them how special they are to you. From February 1st through the 15th, get 15% off in stock items. A little gift for you from Cozy. Cozy Jewelers manufacture, handpick, and hand-make 90% of their jewelry. And that is why Cozy stands out from your average jewelry store. When you need that unique piece of jewelry that makes any important occasion memorable, then Cozy Jewelers is where you need to shop. Cozy Jewelers, Newtown Square, or CozyJewelers.com.
For over 4 decades, Kitchen Magic has been transforming ordinary kitchens into extraordinary spaces. Our dedicated team is at the core of our success, combining expertise and creativity to drive innovation and excellence. We understand that your kitchen is more than just a space. It's where memories are made and cherished for a lifetime. We'll craft a kitchen that truly becomes the heart of your home. Discover the possibilities at kitchenmagic.com today. Now offering no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months on your kitchen remodel.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today, I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Free speech lives here with Kale and Company weekday mornings. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
All right, good Wednesday. Good to see that Philly Jesus has resurfaced. I had him in studio. We had various things with him. I try to remember who it is that shut him down. We had a campaign. There was a lot of nonsense. Look, some people might find it sacrilegious, goofy. I think the guy did a lot of good in his own way. He is now, though, a Lyft driver. So you can be driven by Philly Jesus. I've seen different pictures. In one, he looks like he cut the hair a little bit more. I think he did a pretty good facsimile of based upon depictions that we've seen of Jesus Christ, of Jesus.
That sounds so weird.
And Philly Jesus is back. I'd like to get him on, Dan. I think he's a interesting guy from Northeast Philly. I don't know if he's still in our records. I had him in studio a couple times. And he didn't pontificate. He didn't say you're going to hell. He wasn't that kind of Philly Jesus. It was more of love and fun and over in Center City, Philadelphia, holding court, I didn't see people mocking him. I'm trying to remember who it is that put the kibosh on him, went after him. There was some city entity that did something that tried to usurp what he was up to.
He was arrested for trespassing an Apple store back in 2016, prompting him to exit the social media scene a few years later after divorce and the deaths of his dad and grandmother.
Oh, okay. And the Apple, he was kicked out for causing a stir? Or what was the...
I don't know. I'm looking up here. I do have Chris O'Connell's report from Fox 29. They took a ride with him.
Oh, did they? Yeah, let's hear a little bit of Chris O'Connell, good reporter at Fox 29, with Philly Jesus.
Here you go.
White robes, sandals, and all, we booked a ride with one of the holiest rideshare drivers on the road. He goes by Philly Jesus.
It's like a church on wheels, It's like, that's how I look at it now.
With gospel music blaring, the Holy Bible on the dash, and rosary beads in his hand.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee.
He'll get you where you need to go and throw in a Hail Mary at no charge.
I pick up a passenger, and they see me dressed like this, and I turn back and I say, Jesus is taking the wheel today, and then I play gospel music on the gospel radio.
Nearly a decade ago, Philly Jesus, whose real name is Michael Grant, became a fixture in Center City and a social media celebrity. Arrested for trespassing in an Apple store back in 2016, he left the social media scene a few years later after a divorce and the deaths of his dad and grandmother. But he felt the need to put the robe back on again and hit the road with his message.
I tell them what I do, that I'm an artist, I'm a Christian
Jesus drives an Acura.
Artist, I dress up like my superhero Jesus, I play gospel music, and then I tell them, give me a follow on social media.
Driving 6 days a week, of course off on Sundays, he admits not all customers enjoy the Jesus Act, but he says spreading the word from behind the wheel is a lot safer than walking the streets.
I think the guy is a great addition to Philadelphia. Now, driving with the rosary beads, holding them while you're trying to steer and all, that might be a bit much. I just am waiting now, since this report, though, somebody will file saying separation of church and state, some crazy thing. This guy shouldn't be licensed to drive, engaging in religion in this manner. Oh, my God. He's a colorful character, bit of an odd guy, but it was a fun thing, and if it in its own
you
way.
talk to him directly. Is he genuine, or is this like solely for social media cred?
No. He is, in fact, I
just
think
hoping to spread the word of God.
I think he's kind of like a babe in the woods. He doesn't understand. My sense is he's not a evil genius. He's innocent, and he's doing this. It does give him a select. He likes it, but he likes spreading the word of Jesus, and he looks enough like him the depictions we've seen, that it's a good thing.
Yeah, I've always personally kind of grouped them together with the Naked Cowboy up in New York.
No.
You don't think so?
Oh, that guy's a great addition too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great character. Now
But he does it for money, if we're being honest.
Well, right,
with it,
yeah. But I think we need more people like that. If you even don't like them, as long as they're not in your face, causing something that's so.
So let me get you on this one then. The Elmo Drumline. It's a big Philadelphia thing where people dress like Elmo come in. It's with the big drums and they march down the street, and it's become a noise nuisance to a degree.
Well, if it's a noise thing. Now, is it in Center City? I think in Center City you got more anticipation of noise. Yeah, it depends on what times of day. I'd be reasonable with that. But the Naked Cowboy's great for New York. The Philly Jesus should be great for Philadelphia. I'm trying to think if we have any other characters that engage in that kind of shtick. And if they're making money out of it, he was not. He's not, proselytizing to get boxing.
I do have some of the Philly Elmo.
Okay.
Let's see if I can pull that real quick. Here you go.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're in Center City and all that, they're doing something harmless. Why get nuts? If they're doing it at a wrong time of night and day and all that. But I'm glad to see him back. Maybe we'll get him on. I don't know that it was Apple. Maybe that's why we jumped on it. I can remember it as if it were yesterday, that suddenly, if they told him politely, some people here in the Apple store are not religious, etc. Is that not a sign, unless he's bothering you personally? But if he's there in an Apple store prattling on about Jesus and dressed like Jesus, what skin off your nose is it, really? I have to endure Taylor Swift. Back to that again.
I'll be devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Where's the line drawn, though? Because you go to Love Park and you have the Black Hebrew Israelites preaching.
No, they're saying threatening things. They ought to be arrested, I believe. They're saying they'll cut your head off and things of that. I've been there and covered them.
Okay. Yeah. So the standard street corner preacher on top of a milk crate, though, is fine, right?
Yes. Unless, if it's too loud, if you're using loudspeakers and stuff like that, then I think you're told, hey, turn it down a little bit. You don't have a right to inflict your noise on anybody else. I'm glad, though. This guy is fun, I think, and he somehow or another has a good message of Jesus. I've never heard him say anything hateful, do anything that was off the mark, Dan, at all. So maybe we'll hear from him since he's back driving. And if you don't like it that he's driving Lyft, then get another, go to another vehicle. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Let's go to Bill in Levittown. Levitt. So, Bill, what's the mood in Levittown with the beheading, et cetera?
Wow, that was creepy, man.
Hey, Bill.
I just heard about it. Yeah, I just heard about it this morning, so I really didn't know that much about it.
Okay.
But Levittown's far from a calm place, believe me.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bristol Township's one of the busiest police departments in the state.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I was a cop there for a little while.
Okay.
Before I went down to the city. But, yeah, Levittown's a pretty jumping little place, actually. Yeah.
Wow, that's surprising. I have to talk to J.D. Mullane about that. So, Bill, who's your character actor?
Oh, this guy, I always say, name me a movie he wasn't in. The great Norman Fell.
Well, TV, too. Yeah, you're right.
TV. And I mean, Inherit the Wind, 12 Angry Men, Pork Chop Hill. I mean, the original Ocean's 11. And he was the original Mr. Roper on Three's Company.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. That is a good one. Norman Fell is a real good example. Really you want to see the all-time character actors. 12 Angry Men is a tremendous film. The plot, and it's just all set in a courtroom. I mean, to some people it's dull. Henry Fonda is kind of the leading man. A kid is allegedly killing somebody, and it seems to be open and shut. And Henry Fonda shows why it's not. But Jack Warden is in there, Lee J. Cobb, all these people. I mean, most of these people have been in at least 50 to 60 major things you'd recognize. They're films. There's like 7 or 8 of them that are in there. Gig Young. These are character actors. Hasn't been sober makes a good point on Twitter. Yes, Bill Paxton, I said it. You can be a leading man occasionally and then be a character actor. There's a blend. There's a line, but we're trying to set the line here. I'd say Gene Hackman's a character actor.
So I just want to go into Norman Fell a little bit. I don't know if you know, I don't know if the audience knows, but long history. We know the guy.
Right.
I mean, Ocean's 11, Mad World. But he's from Philadelphia. First off, do you know which high school he went to by chance?
Southern.
Central High School, and
okay.
studied drama at Temple University. Served as a tail gunner on a B-25 Mitchell in the Air Force during World War II, and then became the great actor, the great character actor we later know. But a Philadelphia native, Norman Fell.
Yeah, hit us with a female. Let's see if there's a female out there that you think is a character actress or actor, whichever one you prefer. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board. Here's a question a lot of people are asking. Is the real estate market going to crash in Philadelphia and the suburbs? There's a lot of media hype around the subject, but my friend Diane Cardano-Casaccio from the Cardano team says, do not believe the hype. Instead, follow the facts. Mortgage rates are coming down. They're expecting rate cuts in time for the spring market. Inventory is on the rise. New listings surged by 9%, and total inventory increased by 5% last month. So what's the best way to seize this opportunity to start the home selling process? Well, get Diane into your home. Do it right now. We're coming up on February. She's your expert and advocate, local market insights. Diane can bring buyers flooding in with her eye-catching marketing and help you drive up your price. Plus, she provides staging guidance, contractors ready to make your home shine without you lifting a finger. Don't wait for the wave. Ride it with Diane Cardano, your no-nonsense realtor. Get a free copy of her 2024 real estate handbook called 215-576-8666 or online 215-576-8666.com.
At Consumer Cellular, you get the same exact coverage as the largest carriers, but for up to half the cost. Same thing, up to half the cost. Up to half the cost for the same thing. 50% the money for 100% the same thing. I hope I'm making myself clear. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Half the cost savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single-line 5GB data plan with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single-line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plan offered by T-Mobile and Verizon May 2023.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Lose weight and feel great with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into the radio show Sunday at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-329-2121. That's 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Quiet weather continues across the Delaware Valley today. Skies mostly cloudy. Will be chilly with a high temperature right near average of 42. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, low 35. And for Thursday, some sunshine returns and milder, high 52.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients. Today, Morgan & Morgan has more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. Welcome in. The Giordano summer in North Wildwood now, but I like Ocean City. But Ocean City is kind of relentless, and I respect this. We got a great Ocean City guy. I might get him on tomorrow, Dan, because Ocean City has just passed last night. Inquirer's got a big piece on it. Effectively, a great reining in or ban of the various people who entertain on the boardwalk that are kind of vaudevillian, offbeat, and all that. One of them is she's called the Flute Lady. I've seen her. Another is a legally blind pianist. And they do draw some nice crowds.
Yeah.
They're not the three tenors. That's what this businesswoman said. And they said the people that work in these businesses are tired of hearing all that stuff.
Oh, come on.
So I thought I would throw this in, and it depends on taste, et cetera. This is an exemplar of the type of mentality that Ocean City has. Now, I think it is America's, they know their branding. It is America's family resort. And that's great. I just think they go a little bit far with stuff like this. I get the alcohol thing. I could live with that. You know what I mean? I get what they do with that. But at times, they go down Broadway with this. On the other hand, you have Wildwood, which at times can be the Wild West, right? I think I got the two extremes there as far as kind of anything goes versus prim and proper. Are those the two ends of the spectrum, or is it Cape May? I think it's Ocean City. Ocean City on one end, Wildwood on the other. Is there another town more than Wildwood that you would say? Atlantic City, I don't count. That's just that's a city, and it's but which one has it right? It shows you what we have at the Jersey Shore. When you go to the Jersey Shore, there is something for everybody. Each town has a different, even the Wildwoods are different.
It's weird. Like Ocean City, I think is the one place you got to think going back to the late 1800s. It was founded by Methodists, and then later during Prohibition, it became a beacon of just no alcohol whatsoever. And from there, it kind of developed into that family town. And still to this day, it's the only shore town, the only dry town over on the shore. And it's kind of that's the selling point. That's really the selling point, is that it's different from the rest of the shore. You go to each shore town and it has a different vibe. Sea Isle, there's parties, fights at the bars. It's Wildwood, the same kind of thing. Cape May is like a northeastern, a Maine town almost. Atlantic City's a gambling town, but the only family town that with consistency you can go to and bring your children to is Ocean City.
I would say Stone Harbor, but you better have double the money you have going to Ocean City.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But they don't have the boardwalk like Ocean City has. And on that boardwalk, there's no bars, there's no taverns, which makes Ocean City specific to its own. And I think along with that, I don't want to be that guy, but maybe street artists don't belong in that kind of environment. Maybe it's more so something you'd see on a Sea Isle boardwalk or a Wildwood boardwalk or a
street artists. The last time I was in Ocean City, though, they're not people doing wild stuff. They're kind of catchy. They're kind of offbeat, but tame.
But do we need a crowd of 30 people gathering around Underdog Lady doing a
Yes.
dancing act on the boardwalk?
I would say it's appealing to me.
Yeah.
Yes. I can't get enough of the people. I would put it on every block if I were the mayor, of people guessing weights and ages. I love that stuff.
I guess I can play both sides of this because I would also ask, it's a tradition of the Ocean City Boardwalk once or twice a year to have the mummers, do a march down the entire boardwalk.
Right.
Is that not a nuisance in itself versus these?
Yes, hearing Odom Golden Slippers for the 8,000th time. But they claim the business people say it's distracting to people that work there. They have to hear it all day. Look, I'm not there all day, but to me, it seems like this is, and a lot of people in the article.
Anywhere you work, though, it's going to be the same. I worked at Boscov's for 2 years, and they played the same loop of music on every half an hour. You get sick of it. It's just, I think it comes with working at a place that you get sick of the surroundings.
Yeah, exactly. 855-839-1210. So which one has it right? It's got everything in between. I remember when Ocean City was having trouble with the seagulls. What did they do? They got this weird guy who looked like the guy in Independence Day, the scientist that got croaked by the alien. And they had him walking around with a hawk and then the owl. They put the owl up there, I don't know how many thousand feet in the air, and the seagulls were scared to death. You don't want an owl, apparently, coming after you. That was ruthless. I mean, they're going to kill them. That's what it came down to. They were protecting the family resort image. But is this something... I think it's a nice part of Ocean City rather than, you got to ban these people. And these people, it's their one thing in life that lets them perform to do something.
I think it's important to protect Ocean City as it currently is if you want to give people the ability to choose for themselves what kind of destination they want. Because if you allow Ocean City to become just like the rest of the towns, then it removes one extra choice that we have as shoregoers.
I don't see this, though, as getting into that raucous Wildwood type of stuff. So 855-839-1210, you get on board. Stone Harbor, the only thing, I have to get a report on this. We ended last year. The only thing I know about Stone Harbor is pricey, nothing there, and tickets. Watch it. They love to write. Remember that whole thing last year, the parking tickets?
They have a little promenade, don't they?
Oh, they have 96th Street. They just have these, great places, but and they have some ice cream place there where literally I've seen 200 or 300 people snake around the block waiting for ice cream. That's unbelievable. All right, 855-839-1210. We get some Dan time with Dom, but does that show you what Ocean City's all about? I think it goes too far. All right, you may say, oh, no, that's keeping the character of Ocean City. These people are harmless. They really are. They're not, rappers going crazy or heavy metal band, nothing like that. They're kitschy. They're a little bit offbeat. Hey, last year at the Super Bowl party, Philly Jesus would be on the boardwalk. Is that? Oh, they can't have that. Last year at the Super Bowl, Rob Gronkowski went wide left on FanDuel's Kick of Destiny. Now he's back for the Kick of Destiny 2. And this time you can play along. All you have to do is choose if Gronk will make or miss. Get your free pick in right now because if you're right, you'll win a share of $10 million in bonus bets. Everyone can get in on the action when Gronk takes his shot at redemption before Super Bowl 58. Whether your team make or team miss, just head to the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get that pick in. It's absolutely free. Then tune in before the game to see Gronk's kick live. You'll win a share of $10 million in bonus bets if you're right. If you're new to FanDuel, just visit FanDuel.com/Dom to sign up. Make every moment more with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. No purchase necessary. $10 million prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who make the correct pick. Prize issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms, FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Patients everywhere are experiencing joint pain relief thanks to QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. So how does this non-surgical approach work? QC Kinetics Medical Director Dr. Aaron Wolkoff explains.
Is like when you get a paper cut and the cells that come onto that scene first stop the bleeding, and then it recruits more cells to form new skin and new soft tissue. And then you look down a week later, 2 weeks later, and it's like nothing happened and that paper cut never existed.
In this same way, QC Kinetics uses your natural biologics to help repair and restore aching knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
We take those same similar cells in different areas that are arthritic, are painful, and we cause this kind of internal self-healing that can resolve patients' pain.
Relief without surgery. See if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics regenerative treatments.
Call QC Kinetics 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
Time to drive into the new year with a new ride from Hessert Chevrolet. We're Philly's largest Chevy dealership, and that means we've got what you want and sell it at the lowest price in town. You'll find hundreds of new vehicles on the lot right now, not to mention an incredible selection of only the best, fully inspected, certified pre-owned vehicles too. Hessert is easy to find on Roosevelt Boulevard, just minutes from the Tacony Bridge in downtown Philly.
Your way or no way at Hessert Chevrolet.
Online at HessertChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Isn't it time to invest in yourself? Start at PI Dental Center. With the latest in digital technology to state-of-the-art treatment, PI Dental Center is a full-service practice. 2 board-certified specialists, Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, are originators of the Teeth in a Day protocol, a revolutionary treatment that delivers fixed teeth on the same day as the implants are placed. Hey, I've been a patient of PI Dental for over 20 years, and now is the time for you to invest in yourself. Visit PIDentalCenter.com to request your new patient evaluation.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today, I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hey, Southampton. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's Dan time.
I can handle things. I'm smart. I'm like everybody says.
That's right. That's time of the afternoon. It's that time of the afternoon when producer Dan takes over the Dom Giordano program for some Dan time with Dom. And Dom, in case you were wondering, in case you were curious, people are doing crappy out there. Elmo of Sesame Street posted on Twitter within the past week, how is everybody doing? And the common theme was existential dread, despair, just a collective grievance of sadness, trauma. Biden got involved and said he backed Elmo, saying that, let me get Biden's quote here. Our friend Elmo is right. We have to be there for each other, Dom. So now Elmo's asking about emotional well-being. Do you think there's any problem with their country right now with this despair? Do you think Joe Biden's the one to fix it? I'm pretty sure he is the one to fix it. So why is he just retweeting Elmo and saying, oh, we're here for you?
Well, I don't think, who knows, but I don't think it's a good idea to say the country's in despair. You can complain about the country's angry. That's not despair. We're angry. We see these big things and we're itching to get into the presidential race to fix it.
So you're optimist that it is fixable where we're at.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I don't think it's that overwhelmingly. I'm not saying the Trump years were golden in every sense, but stopping the border, stopping inflation, they're easy. We know what to do.
This one probably deserves just a more than a short hit on Dan Time with Dom, but our friend of the show, Ryan Walters, is in a little bit of a hot water. I don't know if you saw this. Oklahoma State Superintendent.
Libs of TikTok?
No, just in general. Oklahoma Watch. So
Right.
what happened is he's joined us many times because he's done a great state audit into the public education system. And in the audit, what happened is he found that there's been a bonus that's been taken advantage of by some teachers, up to $50,000.
Right.
And he's requested that these individual teachers pay back their bonuses between $15,000 and $50,000, these private individuals. And a lot of people are out there saying, well, these are just small-time teachers that, almost lucked out from some state payments. They shouldn't have to pay it back. Ryan Walters is an extremist going overboard trying to get these payments. Dom Giordano, where do you lie with this?
Yeah, they didn't deserve them. I mean, it's state money. I think, well, it's because I would ask these teachers, are you in favor of merit pay? If you're not in favor of merit pay, then drop dead on this, because as long as you're not in favor of merit pay, you're not going to be paid as much as you might be worth.
And finally, Dom, Jodie Foster was interviewed, and she said there are two movies everyone should watch at least once, one being Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is a really, really good movie. I do suggest it. But she also said her other film is Team America World Police, the film with puppets made by the makers of South Park.
Yeah.
So Everything Everywhere All at Once and Team America is Jodie Foster's much watched for everybody. Dom, you got to have two films. I got to guess one of them. I would think that one's got to be The Godfather, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if that's right for everybody. Godfather 2.
Yeah.
I would suggest that, though. Quintessential film. I'm trying to think of a lighter film, a more offbeat, or something uplifting.
What's one that you always quote with they're in the back of the taxi cab, waterfront something?
Oh, On the Waterfront.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know that everybody would. It is the actors in that are beyond. You got Marlon Brando at the height of his powers, one of the 5 best actors, not just me saying it, ever.
Do you think the classics like Citizen Kane, Gone with the Wind, they are as good as people make them out to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, Casablanca.
Yeah, Casablanca. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know, somebody in their 20s watching that, if they're going to pick up on it. I don't. Well, It's a Wonderful Life is what I was going to say.
Oh, that's a great answer.
Yeah, that's the film, because it's so uplifting, and you're only uplifted because the dark side. You got to go through the dark side to come out the other side. That's what people forget. It's pretty dark when Jimmy Stewart goes off. Yeah, he wants to kill himself.
It's valuable life lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great one. But that's all I got for Dan Time today, Dom.
Well, thank you very much. Mark Houck, running against Brian Fitzpatrick, is going to be with us. He just won. Several committees out there in Bucks County endorsed him, and we'll catch you up on that race. I know Brian Fitzpatrick, center ring with our listeners, and Houck's story, and I think he's suing. Also, Mark Zuckerberg, and Dan, maybe you can pull that sound. It's on both Mediaite and Grabian. Just broke. He apologized to the parents at the hearing today who may have lost children because of social media. I'm in a camp, though, that, I am very reluctant to just blame social media here. How about parenting, as tough as it is? It's easy, isn't it, to just go after Zuckerberg? It's easy target. I don't know if Elon Musk was there, but there were several social media titans there. We'll play you that apology. It's making news right now because this is a legal issue. All right, Mark Houck next on Talk Radio 1210.
If you're facing $10,000, $20,000, or even $30,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt, there are programs available that can consolidate those debts into one single reduced monthly payment you can afford if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief is on a mission to help you become debt-free in just 24 to 48 months. They've helped over 300,000 qualified consumers. Hardworking Americans just like you pay off more than $3 billion in debt, earning them an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Accredited Debt Relief will tailor the program to fit your specific budget and financial situation. So call Accredited Debt Relief now for your free no-obligation savings estimate and let them help you take control of your financial destiny.
Call 800-663-1313. 800-663-1313. That's 800-663-1313. 800-663-1313. Program and services not available in all states.
Dawn Stensland here. As we ring in the new year, my friends from Piazza Premium Automobiles wish everyone a happy 24. Piazza is excited to welcome 2 new members to their family of dealerships, Infiniti Ardmore and Maserati of the Mainline, both located on Lancaster Avenue. Find your new or certified pre-owned Infiniti, Maserati, or other Piazza luxury brands like Jaguar, Land Rover, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and more. Piazza PremiumAutos.com, PIAZZA, PremiumAutos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
Police have 2 people in custody after a cop was grazed in the hand by a bullet in North Philly. Bucks County authorities say a man killed and beheaded his father and posted a disturbing video online. And a bill to ban smoking in Atlantic City casinos is one step closer to becoming a law.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-403-5569 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-403-5569. That's 800-403-5569. What do you have to lose? Call 800-403-5569. Again, 800-403-5569.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
Of course, we'll have Dom's Money Melody. We got a great side question going on. And as I said, Zuckerberg apologized to the parents that were there at the umpteenth social media meeting. I agree more with some people on Twitter that, look, got to come to a decision about what we see social media as, and then you can determine how to rein them in. But his apology, you have to understand, has tremendous legal consequences. And usually they deflect. They don't do that. We'll play that for you in a moment. But our buddy Bill Lawrence Online, conservative website out there in Delco, Chester County, writes about Mark Houck. Mark Houck is winning committee votes in the battle for the GOP endorsement for Pennsylvania's 1st congressional district. Of course, the other person on the Republican side is sitting Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick. Mark Houck back with us on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Mark, welcome in and congratulations on these endorsements.
Well, it's not quite the endorsement yet, but we're getting a lot of committee people very excited, and they're expressing their opinions, and they're telling the establishment that this is the guy we want. So good to be back with you and to talk about it.
Well, they are endorsements, I meant, of these district committee, right? And
Right.
Lawrence makes the point that ordinarily Brian Fitzpatrick seems to sweep these. Now, are these more in the upper Bucks County area, Mark?
No, that's a good question. And he normally does sweep them. Well, we're getting votes in every district. So Bucks County is divided up into 13 districts, and they have these screenings. And that particular one, which was on Monday, was reflective of kind of the Doylestown area. There was people up in the part of the Upper Bucks area as well, but Doylestown was represented. New Britain, which is more Central Bucks. So I would say that area was more reflective of Central Bucks and pieces of Upper Bucks.
So your contention with Brian Fitzpatrick, in addition to your candidacy, your life story, the thing that made international headlines and continues to, what is the issue with Fitzpatrick overall that is talked about in these committee hearings?
Well, look, everyone's got a chance to talk, even Brian Fitzpatrick, but he's chosen to stay out of the district, and he just sends a video. So I think it speaks volumes to the committee people that he's not there. But nonetheless, you get 5 minutes to kind of talk about yourself, introduce yourself, and I'm cutting my teeth. Basically, I'm diving right in, and I tell a little bit about the story so people get familiar with me. I'm native of Bucks County, from birth, but I go right into his record. I go right into Brian voting like a Democrat, 70% with the Biden regime, him not voting with the Constitution. He's got a 17% rating the last term, 28% overall. So I'm appealing to Republicans to have courage to be Republican, right? And to not vote like a Democrat for a guy who clearly is a Democrat. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. And of course, we're positive, we're upbeat, and we're excited. And, we're challenging them to get on board. And a lot of them are.
So this is decided, right? The full endorsement of the GOP. What does that mean other than the cachet of having that? Does it have a tactical or a strategic thing, whoever gets the endorsement?
Yeah, look, it's going to be really hard for Brian not to get the endorsement. He is the incumbent. But what we're doing is we're making a statement, and we're letting the establishment know in Bucks County that, look, we have a lot of momentum. We have a lot of voters that want change. And so while I don't expect to get the full endorsement, it's a long shot, but the reality is likely he's going to get it. But what happens as a result of these, the committee people are telling the executive officers within the Bucks County establishment that we want Mark Houck. Like, they're communicating. Now, if there's a quorum, Dom, there, then the executive officers are bound by what the committee people voted. So let's say tonight I'm in Bristol, and Bristol votes for me, or Langhorne, and it's a quorum. Then the executive officers will have to vote with the committee people. Short of that, they can vote how they want.
And how many of these people vote approximately?
So you mean at the
big endorsement time? Yeah.
Well, that's going to be the executive committee. So I guess I'm not sure how that all shakes out. I'm kind of new at it, but I'm assuming there's a representative, at least one from each district.
Okay.
Probably two. Yeah.
Now, do the committees get to quiz you to find out your, characteristics of what you'll do on particular issues?
Yeah, it's a really interesting setup. The way Pat Poprick and Joe Collin have it leading there is they give 3 minutes for questions. So it's like a hornet's nest, but it's good. It's good for the Republic. It's good for people to hear the questions. And, some are benign, some are softballs, and other ones are a little bit like Dom Giordano asking them questions.
All right. Well, on the we want to know, one of the is abortion, obviously, but what else comes up that they may push back on your candidacy? Is there anything else they asked you that is a bit of a debate to see if you could withstand the Democrat?
Yeah, that came up last night. Like, okay, maybe you can win the primary, but how are you going to win the general? Right. That's kind of thing. And of course, they bring up the abortion issue and stuff. And I want to be clear with the audience again, because I think you have a great platform and you have a great way to communicate. So this is what we've been saying. We talked about. We know it's at the states right now, but it's disingenuous to say that a congressman is going to be devoid of this, potentially on a voting, on the floor of the House soon. So that said, what I say is, look, I will never stand in the way of any legislation that saves lives. And I think we've evolved a little bit to say, look, even if there's exceptions, let's say there's a 12-week ban on abortion or a 15-week ban on abortion, like any child after 15 weeks cannot have, you cannot have an abortion. But if there's rape and incest in it, guess what? I'm going to vote for that because we're going to save thousands of lives in Pennsylvania because we have 24 weeks in Pennsylvania. Let's say there's a ban on all abortion and it comes to the House floor and there's 217 votes, but there's rape and incest in there. You better believe I'm voting for that because we're going to save millions of babies' lives. And I think your audience needs to know that. I think that's the right Republican Party platform that we have to have. The nation is just not ready to reject all that. And I think you've said as such in your commentary.
I've
with
said
me
in
today.
Ironclad, well, that is an evolution. I'm glad to hear it because your story, your principles stand, your family, I couldn't be more supportive. I just think, well, I would also say this, though. This time around, I'm hopeful, unless Taylor Swift gets involved here big time, that abortion is not going to be the train that Democrats are able to ride. It'll be in there, but it's not going to be as overwhelming as in 22 and 23. The indicators don't seem to be going that way. I don't know in Bucks County, though. I mean, I'm sure that's what they would ratchet up against you. How about the lawsuit around all this, Mark, of what was done to you, the weaponization of government? Where does that stand now?
Yeah, well, so we filed in early November, and the government has 6 months to reply to that. So we're at the halfway point. They're likely going to file, a motion to dismiss, and if that gets, rejected, then of course they have to deal with it. So, but that's going to be, paperwork, and it's going to be in the system for a little while. But it's a congressional bill, is what it is, right? The lawsuit is, the House has the budget. They're the one with the money. So Mike Johnson could say, hey, the House deserve to get compensated for what the government did to them. Mike Johnson could actually pay that bill and bring that to the House floor. But nonetheless, we have no update on that. It's just a waiting game at this point.
Well, I wanted to differentiate too. See, this other group, and you probably know them. I'm not sure if you're in touch. I think there's 11 of them. They could get 11 years in jail, which is excessive. But they did take over an abortion clinic. And I do see that, as much as it's principled, there's a penalty for that. But this enforcement of the FACE Act is as punitive as anything I've ever seen. Yours is different because even Larry Krasner wasn't going to bring charges here. That's what makes it so much different. And I just hope you don't get lumped together with this other. They're great people, principled people. But they did something illegal there, and I get the principle. You didn't do anything illegal in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's interesting. My verdict last year was yesterday, right? And then this verdict isn't that interesting how this verdict with Paul Vaughn and those other people in the Tennessee, Michigan area, they had their verdict on the same day. That stuff isn't lost on me. I talked to Paul. I've encouraged him, and he knows that he was facing a different situation than I was. And they're prepared. His mantra is, God is in control. And so he's, these people, when we do these things, you're aware that, you could get arrested. You're aware that you're doing civil disobedience. I mean, how many times was Martin Luther King put in jail, right? I mean, look at the Birmingham jail prison letter. I mean, he was aware of what he was doing. So they're all aware, and he knows it. He knows that, they were risking that, and they're willing to do it for the life of a preborn child. So I applaud them. Like, they have courage, So this is just the fruit of that, and unfortunately, it's not. We'll see on the appeal how it goes.
Absolutely. Well, Mark, where do people go that want to support or know more about Mark Houck?
Yeah, they can go to houckforcongress.com, and that's spelled HOUCKFOR Congress.com. Dom, thanks so much. Look forward to being
thank
back
you.
on the show
And
with you.
I have to tell you how much I enjoyed talking with you because you're willing to come on and take an area where we differ, even though on the more principled and bigger things, we're in lockstep. And I'm glad to hear how you enunciated that today. And I hope this debate continues with Brian Fitzpatrick. It's needed in that area.
I would be hopeful and would welcome more opportunities to do it in the future. We only got like 83 days till the primary, so it's going to be here fast.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Thanks very much. Dan, I'd love to get both on the show. I think they would do it in some kind of informal debate format, maybe in March, something like that. I think it's a worthy contender. Coming up in a minute, though, we'll play you Zuckerberg, and I commend him for this, apologizing to the parents who were there. And I saw several major conservative figures saying, you know what, we can go after social media all that we want, and justifiably with some of the stuff that they do. But there's a parenting aspect to this too. It's easy to just bash social media, to go after them, have hearings. And is that the root thing to stop some of the thing? But we'll play you Zuckerberg. Right now, though, first, another good one. It's Dom's.
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Bucks County, again, we're swerving into Bucks County constantly. Today, you win a pair of tickets to Bucks County's Paracon, the first annual paranormal conference on March 9th at the Zlock Performing Arts Center in Bucks County. For tickets and more information, visit bucks.edu/tickets. All right, Dan, what's the backstory?
Yeah, so Dom, today we're asking for great character actors. And if you ask an American about this guy, you might get the answer that he's one of the greatest character actors from television for the past 25 years. But if you ask a British person, they might just say he's one of the greatest comedy duos and one of the greatest actors overall, leading men of the past, 30 plus years. Okay. Just a fantastic actor that many of us know from television, but he also happens to be great at the piano and have a really good voice. So I'm going to play one of his songs, and I want to know if our listeners can tell us who this great actor is. Dom, take a listen.
Everyone is facing changes. No one knows what's going on. And everyone is changing places. Still, the world keeps moving on.
This guy was on TV for 8 years, Dom, and at one point he was the highest grossing actor on all of television.
Wow.
Yeah, so who is that singing today's song? Win that prize.
All right, it's 855-839-1210. You got to jump in quickly, be the first one in, and we'll send you off to this conference. And really, if you have interest or somebody does, that's better if you do that. If not, maybe, today's not the day to answer. But 855-839-1210, that'll get you in.
Goes on the same.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. I'm hosting Terry Hayes, international best-selling author, in his new book, The Year of the Locust. I can't put this book down. It's amazing. It's riveting. You'll find all the inner workings of the CIA. You'll go behind enemy lines in Iran. It's going to be a great night.
So they go into North Korea. They go into the bad parts of Russia. They go into Iran, anywhere where there's no hope or help if you get unmasked.
Wednesday, February 7th, 7 p.m., Rosemont College. Get your tickets today at 1210wphd.com. This will sell out. You'll get a signed copy of the book, 1210wphd.com. Hey, it's Rich Zioli. I want to tell you about my friend and my dentist, Dr. Mike Veneria at Veneria Dental. Dr. Mike is the master of implant dentistry, the master of making you look and feel your greatest with $1 million smile. I recommend you book an appointment for Dr. Mike today. I've been telling you about Dr. Mike Veneria for years because my entire family goes there, because the level of care and commitment to dental excellence that Dr. Mike and his staff delivers is simply unmatched. He's been delivering results that surpass expectations, and that's made him a top dentist in New Jersey for 10 consecutive years. He has one of the most respected reputations among his peers as a master of dental implants. So, if you've been on the fence about getting that dental procedure done, reach out to Dr. Mike today. Give Dr. Veneria a call. I promise you won't be disappointed. With 2 locations to serve you in Cinnaminson and Woodbury, right over the bridge. Schedule your free implant consultation today for your perfect smile. Call 856-786-2020, 856-786-2020, or veneriadental.com, veneriadental.com.
1 in 5 rely on the Catholic Charities Appeal for help. The fact is, nearly 1 million times per year, our programs provide assistance to people in need. These are women and children looking for shelter, the homeless looking for a meal, and individuals with special needs looking for opportunity, which is only possible due to the generous donations raised through Catholic Charities Appeal. We can't do this vital work without you. Your gift matters. Go to CatholicCharitiesAppeal.org to donate today.
Start 2024 by building stronger financial roots with First Harvest Credit Union. Open our growth savings account and earn as high as 3.5% annual percentage yield while enjoying flexible access to funds. Want more reasons why we're a better place to grow? Check out our competitive certificate and IRA specials as well. Visit firstharvestcu.com or your nearest branch to open your account or to get details. First Harvest Credit Union, serving the Delaware Valley for over 84 years. Membership restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Purchase a 2023 courtesy Volvo S60 from Cherry Hill Volvo for less than $29,000. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo this month to purchase the sensational S60 courtesy Volvo for less than $29,000. This is an offer you don't want to miss. During January, we are offering financing for 3.99% on all new SUVs in stock. That's an interest rate of 3.99% up to 72 months. At Cherry Hill Volvo, we must make room for all the construction trucks.
It all comes down to this. Super Bowl 58. Listen live from Westwood One on the free Odyssey app. The Kansas City Chiefs.
Takes the snap. Darts a pass near side. Caught by Kelsey. Wrapped to the ground at the 12.
And the San Francisco 49ers.
With a comeback for the ages, the 49ers are going back to the Super Bowl.
Wherever you are next Sunday, stream Super Bowl 58 with Westwood One on the free Odyssey app. Download it today and search Super Bowl. AUDACY. Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
It's the Money Melody.
Show me the money. That's right. Every day around 2:13, 2:12 or so, we hit you with that. Here is today. Tell us the name of the singer covering this song.
Love must always turn to sorrow, and everyone must play the game, because it's here today and gone tomorrow.
All right, let's try Stephen Langhorne. Who's the singer, Steve?
I think it's Hasselhoff.
All right, thank you, Steve.
Sorry,
Good-
Steve.
Good try. Let's try Don. Not Dom, but Don with an N in Philly. Hey, Don, who's the singer?
Right.
D-O-N.
Hey, we're talking Bruce Willis.
No, but this person was also in Friends as well. Yeah, they did have a guest appearance in Friends. Yeah.
All right, Larry in Westchester. Let's not strike out. Who is it, Larry?
I think, even though it doesn't sound like him at all, I think it's Hugh Laurie.
All right.
That's
Nice
it.
to
It's
play.
Dr. House.
Wow. Yeah, that is. We both said he's a character actor. I know he's a lead in House and all, but Dan asked me that before the show. So you're the winner, Larry. Enjoy the paranormal.
And the thing is, like Hugh Laurie, as us Americans, we know him as like a curmudgeonly
Right.
actor. Because of Dr. House, I mean, one of the greatest TV roles of all time. But the guy, he started out of Cambridge as a trained dramatic actor, hooked up with Stephen Fry, one of the greatest comedians of all time, and started a comedy duo. Became a very prominent actor in a British series called Blackadder. He's been all over the place for so many years, and British people, I think he's actually a knight. Like he's known as a really good dramatic actor, but he was kind of typecast here in America, and it's kind of persisted with him ever since.
That's the only role I know. So yeah, we have to go with that. Okay. Now we had some of the bigger players. I don't see Elon Musk there. Maybe I missed it, but Zuckerberg was the star today in the center ring, and he was in the ring with Josh Hawley. Now look, Hawley has a propensity to kind of, I'm not always going to endorse what this guy does. All right. And I think he was just pushing Zuckerberg to apologize. But there was a moment, and it's making a good bit of news, that Zuckerberg did apologize to the parents of some of the kids who may have died or have been seriously harmed. The claim was by Facebook and or other social media. I'm not sure about Instagram. Here's how it sounded with Zuckerberg.
Dealing with the issues that your services cause?
Our job is to make sure that we build tools to help keep people safe.
Are you going to compensate them?
Senator, our job and what we take seriously is making sure that we build industry-leading tools to find harmful
To
content,
make money.
take it off the services,
To make money.
and to build tools that empower parents.
So you
that
didn't
help
take
work
any
people.
action. You didn't
That's
take
not
any
true,
action. You
Senator.
didn't fire anybody. You haven't
That's not
compensated a
true.
single
That's
victim.
not
Let me
what I
ask you
said.
this. Let me ask you this. There's families of victims here today. Have you apologized to the victims? Would you like to do so now? Well, they're here. You're on national television. Would you like now to apologize to the victims who have been harmed by your product? Show them the pictures.
He's physically turning around.
Would you
now.
like to apologize for what you've
Standing up.
done to these good people?
I'm sorry for everything that you all have been through. It's terrible knowing you have to go through the things that your families have suffered. And this is why we invested so much and are going to continue doing industry-leading efforts to make sure that no one has to go through the types of things that your families have had to suffer.
You know, why, Mr. Zuckerberg, why should your company not be sued for this? Why is it that you can claim, you hide behind a liability shield, you can't be held accountable? Shouldn't you be held accountable personally?
All right. Well, Congress, we've been through this before, the technicalities of this, of how we view social media. If we classify them differently, then that could be opened up. Now, that was look, I'm not defending social media in general, particularly Zuckerberg in this, but there's tremendous legal repercussions to what he just did. So I think he could have continued to deflect as he started out in the beginning with Hawley, but he didn't. I'm not going to get inside his mind and heart, the sincerity of it and the back and forth, but I'm not just going to kill him on it either. All right. I will tell you, since people damn wonder why I have such an itch at times with the NFL, there's a big story in today in the Washington Post. All these deals that the NFL made with players who clearly had CTE, things like that. A lot of them have fallen on the wayside by friendly doctors to the NFL, by difficulties with proving some of this stuff. And I don't know if Hawley or these others would ever challenge the NFL because America wants the NFL. And if players get CTE, oh well. But give me your reaction to Zuckerberg there, Dan. How he was shamed into it. He did stand up, you said. You cut the thing. Did Zuckerberg stand up?
Yeah,
and
he
turn
did.
to
So after Hawley asked her, he does
Yeah.
indeed turn around, look them in the face, and then stand up and say that to them.
Well, I think turning around and standing up and looking in the face, that is a decent sign versus just.
Do you get the sense that I do that the apology wasn't sufficient to these families, though?
Well,
There was
of course,
applause when he first stood up, and then
Right.
there was just nothing once he finished and
Well,
sat back down.
nothing's going to be sufficient. I just say
Yeah.
I would balance this, though. We can make these the villains of the universe, that they're responsible for everything that's involved social media-wise. And they did this to these kids. Several people, as I said on Twitter, are already saying, well, yeah, their culpability, what can be done to rein them in? But doesn't a lot of this come back to parenting? And it's much more difficult to be a parent today than it's ever been. Social media is one of the things that you have to deal with. I would say progressives are another. Where do we go to sue them for the stuff that they engage in? The stuff that they do in school, this vibe that they push. Is it social media? Is it progressivism that is pushing more and more kids to be gender fluid, to not identify with their biological sex, to play all these games in school where they're one thing and then the parents are unaware of that, they're doing that in school? Is social media doing that? Or is that an ideology? Is that people in school? Where do we go to sue them? So, look, it's not unbelievable. He didn't go and hug them and do all that. But I still think it's a moment, given the unbelievable legal, not just legal implications, but curtailments that can come out of that, that Congress can run with. The problem is we go through this, every 6 months or a year, and we have no resolution toward what should be done. And I think Ted Cruz is savvy about social media. Some of the others, they're not. What can be done to rein this in? What's the effective way to go about this? Is it just lawsuits? Or is it something else that would involve licensure? That's the threat that if people have, they're going to think twice about ignoring things that are dangerous here.
How about a 16-year-old age limit?
Well, right. And enforcing that would be
Like say,
something.
you
right.
got to be 16 before you can get
Yeah,
on there.
but I mean, enforcing that and knowledge that they're 16, it's one thing to say it. Again, where's the teeth in it to stop them from doing it? I felt a little bit better about Zuckerberg there versus some of the others that I've seen testify. I don't think he's the worst.
Mr. Zuckerberg, you and the companies before us, I know you don't mean it to be so, but you have blood on your hands. You have a product. You have a product that's killing people.
All right, I come back to, Dan, Congress can bring them in, do this dog and pony show is what I'm getting at, right? How many times have we been through? I can remember 5, 6, 7, or 8 times. What is a body can they do that's a solution to it, or at least is going to mitigate what these social media companies can do?
I didn't ask for this.
And it just seems to me there are too many forces there that don't want to do that. Instead, we go through this. There's damage, then there's a spectacle of these people being brought in. That's what Congress seems to want to me. 855-839-1210, you get on board. That's what I'd be interested in. What is it you can do that will curtail this, that will make it harder? And being a parent with all this stuff is not easy. It's much more difficult than to be a parent 20, 30, 40 years ago. We all know that. But I would maintain some of this stuff is due to what's going on in schools, progressivism, particularly the transgender stuff, a whole array of things that social media really is not the driving force. 855-839-1210. All right, we got a great side question today. Hit us with that all-time character actor. Dan, this is one of my favorites. I got to admit it. Joe in the Northeast on Talk Radio 1210. All right, Joe, who's yours?
Hey, Dom, you remember a lot of them old westerns, John Wayne, but you probably know this guy best from Paul Newman movies. And his line is probably one of the top 10 in all movies. What we got here is failure to communicate.
You run once, you're going to get one set of chains. You run twice, you're going to get another set. You ain't going to run a third time. Thank you for allowing me to. Dan in there is bailing out. He's getting out of here early.
Commercial.
Yeah, Strother Martin. What else did he do? I know the Paul Newman. Yeah, great film.
But, yeah, he was in a lot of John Wayne stuff, old westerns. He was the manager of the hockey team in Slapshot, and he was also in what's the one that Paul Newman did? The two desperados that got chased down out in the West.
Sundance Kid and
with
Redford.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. He was in that too.
I didn't know that. That's a good one, Dan. Strother Martin. Yeah, that is a classic character actor. And that line is tremendous. Cool Hand Luke, that's Newman at his best. Particularly the egg eating contest. George Kennedy is in the film, and he is an all-time character actor. All right, there you go. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in right now. Hit us with that. And your reaction to this confession, I'm going to play for you, too. You may have missed it at the beginning of the show. It's worthy of replaying. The governor of Massachusetts, I think she's well-meaning. She broke up today because she's overrun by illegal migrants. And she turned over probably the only recreation center in Roxbury, which is in Boston, the Roxbury neighborhood in Boston, which is a minority neighborhood, this giant recreation center, to illegal migrants. And now I'm seeing Fox today show any number of African Americans, particularly males, going nuts. And this will be for 3 months, not a day, not a week, months. 855-839-1210. Hey, you've been hearing me talk about rescue supplements for years. Well, Rescue Natural Supplements has launched a free personalized health survey. Prioritizes all of your health goals. So whether you've been taking rescue products for years or don't know where to start, in just 5 minutes, discover tailored rescue supplements that fill the gaps in your nutritional needs. That means no more guessing on products at the store or ignoring the issues altogether. The best part? Right now, you get a whopping 50% off recommended products after completing the survey. To get started, Go to res-q.life. resq.life. Or call him at 800-26-ALIVE. That's 800-262-5483. You're going to get help from a knowledgeable rescue product consultant. Now, to do this, I took the survey. And let me tell you, you will be blown away as I was by how specific the results are to you. Just visit res-q.life. You'll get 50% off recommended products today.
Weather sponsored by Turn 7 Liquidations.
Quiet weather continues across the Delaware Valley today. Skies mostly cloudy. Will be chilly with a high temperature right near average of 42. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, low 35. And for Thursday, some sunshine returns and milder, high 52.
Overstock emergency! Turn 7 must liquidate to the bare walls everything from the nation's biggest online retailers drastically marked down 60 to 90% off. Turn 7! Philadelphia Mills, Moorestown Mall, dealers welcome. Turn 7 liquidations.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
As an educator, Mr. Nelson's teachings are still being quoted in schools.
Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world.
Mr. Nelson taught hope.
Everyone can rise above their circumstances if they are dedicated and passionate.
And giving our best efforts.
It's always impossible until it's done.
Mr. Nelson Mandela's teachings not only united a nation, they inspire us today. Inspiration. Pass it on from passiton.com.
If your child needs support, special tutoring, and custom instruction, METC is here to help. Now's the time to make the call to Kathy Ganna and METC. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages to grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Now's the time to get assistance for your child to help them succeed. Visit online at METC.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@METC.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200. That's 215-493-4200.
Ring in 2024 with up to 10% off on new Grand Cherokees and Wranglers. Save up to 15% on new Gladiators, Compasses, Renegades, and Ram trucks at TurnersvilleJeep.com. Visit TurnersvilleJeep.com and view over 250 Jeeps and Ram trucks available for immediate delivery. TurnersvilleJeep.com on Route 42 in Turnersville. Drive a little, save a lot at TurnersvilleJeep.com.
Deanna got some really bad news from the IRS.
They said you owe quite a bit of money. They told me the possibilities of garnishing my wages, taking my house, taking my car.
Deanna found out about Optima Tax Relief. They've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax saved my life.
Call Optima now for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
For details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and on the free Odyssey app.
Tom Giordano's show coming to you. Character actors, got some great ones lined up. I've been saving this today. It's gone viral. Fox Business, Dan. Woman returns a couch to Costco after 2 years, and they take it back. They permitted her bringing it back. She told them that she and her family had tired of the color.
Oh, really?
Of the couch. She
And that
takes
works?
it back. Apparently, that's why it's gone viral. They have an awesome return policy. She told her followers, buy your furniture from Costco, girl. You can return it when you don't like it anymore. And then she said she told them she didn't even have the receipt for the couch anymore. The employee was able to locate the order on the store computer. She explained she was turning the couch. The family didn't like the color anymore. Costco gave her a full refund for the purchase. It worked. She happily shared.
Measy and I are in the market for a new sectional.
There you
we
go.
might have to go to Costco. I've been looking at one from over there too. They might just, send me over the ledge there. Is that some viral marketing though by Costco here, trying to get out some?
I think it's dangerous to them. Costco has a 100% satisfaction guarantee return policy with few restrictions. Simply bring the product to any Costco warehouse, and our member service team will be happy to assist you.
Wow.
It helps if you have the receipt or original product packaging, but it may not be necessary to process your return. Their return policy states, a TikToker's video returning an old couch on Costco went viral. Their policy does not say the items must be returned in a certain time frame, in a certain condition for most purchases. There are exceptions for electronics, jewelry, cigarettes, alcohol.
Can't return cigarettes.
Wait a minute. Car tires. Can you imagine? I want my full price back for these car tires and batteries, airplane tickets, gold, and special order items.
Well, I hope they stick to it.
Yeah, if you're Robert Menendez and you're tired of the gold bars, if he still has them, I guess you can take it back. Can you see him showing up at Costco? Yeah, that's right. I want a full refund on these gold bars. I don't like them anymore.
Well, LL Bean for the longest time would have a lifetime warranty on their products, and it got abused to the point that people were just returning, broken boots at this point, worn boots that they had to cancel their lifetime warranty, and their business has taken a huge hit because of it. When it comes to, reliability and all. It's
the boldness of this woman. How can you be friends with somebody who has a couch for 2 years, doesn't like the color, goes over to Costco, causes trouble now?
Yeah.
Probably gets the person fired or demoted that was there who said, well, what am I going to do? That's our policy.
The thing is, like, these couches today, they're crappily made. I don't know about Costco because I've heard Costco actually has some really good builds on their furniture.
Right.
But a lot of these furniture stores, 2-3 years down the road, your cushions start to deform. And then 4 years down the road, your couch is very uncomfortable and lumpy and it looks like crap. If Costco's willing to take back these couches because the color changes, I might just say, if I have a lumpy couch there, I don't like the color anymore.
Yeah, but I can't imagine inside Costco, they're happy. Oh, this went viral, as you said. They're behind it. They're going to have hordes of these people now showing up. What about this? Bobby Menendez, get over to Costco right now. All right, let's go to Dave in Jersey. Dave is in on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dom, how you doing today?
Good, Dave.
Thomas Mitchell. He was in 39. He made a movie with Jimmy Stewart. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. He was the father in Gone with the Wind. He won an Academy Award, Stagecoach, John Wayne's first big movie.
Okay.
And he was Uncle Billy in It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Uncle Billy. Well, there is a role of a lifetime. Mine, Dan, though, was both in Deer Hunter, a great role, but then Fredo. How could you have a bigger role than Fredo if you look like John Calzale, I guess it pronounced?
Yeah. Only critique I would have is this guy passed away 62 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're trying for more contemporary.
More contemporary answer.
We got a couple here, though, that are females. We haven't gotten any females yet. Let's try Gary in Newtown. I think this is a pretty good one. Hey, Gary, welcome in. Who's yours?
Thank you. I was going to try to play against the host and the co-host and go with James Caan, because he did so well in Elf and he did so well in The Godfather. And then when I went to my brain, I said, wait a second. James Caan was the writer who got his ankle broken by Kathy Bates, and I will never, ever forget that scene. So I'm going with Kathy Bates.
Yeah, Kathy Bates is how many big things? And now for some reason, maybe I have a bias. The character is never unbelievably attractive or whatever. You know what I mean? They might be attractive, but not over the top. Yeah, Kathy
Fried
Bates.
green tomatoes.
Yes.
Yeah, she's a great answer.
That is a really
It's a really
good
good
answer. And Robert, he's back in a twofer. I think he's not putting this in for he's got a good one, though. Robert, who do you say? Robert and Ben Salem?
Hello?
Yeah,
Wait,
Robert.
That's
go
not
ahead.
Robert and Ben Salem. It
sounds
like Joe.
It does. It is Joe.
Is that
What the
Joe?
heck? What's
Wait, what's going on here?
All right, Joe and Exton. Who do you have, Joe?
Yeah. Hello, Dom.
Hi, Joe.
It's a sneak attack by
What
Joe
the
and
heck?
Exton
He's
here.
assuming identities.
What's
here.
going on, Joe?
It says Robert and Ben Salem on my screen. What the heck happened?
Joe and Exton, how you doing, sir?
Good, Joe. Who do you have
Okay.
today?
Here we go. My character actor is Sarah Jessica Parker from the TV program Sex and the City. This is a young lady living in New York who seeks advice from her girlfriend regarding marriage, and who has a boyfriend whom she nicknames Mr. Big.
Are you Mr. Big?
Is that you, Joe?
Not me, no.
All right, thank you, Joe. And Dan, you know my bias towards Sarah Jessica Parker, captain of the overrated team as far as looks.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get that. So is she a character actor? Hollywood doesn't think so. I do, though, and I think Joe's right. I mean, that his performance here as Robert of Ben Salem. I don't know, Jim.
Jim, how's he get up there as Robert and Ben
Yeah,
Salem?
how'd that happen, Jim?
Jim?
No idea how that happened.
It's a sneak attack.
It's a sneak attack. Somehow or another, he's got Zuckerberg working on the show, and that's how he got in.
No, I don't know what it was. Could be our phone setup.
Yeah, it is something.
So he did not give you the name Robert and Ben Salem.
Yeah,
No,
Joe,
not at all.
No, Joe gets thrown off easily, though. Did you hear him at the beginning? Instead of saying, no, this is Joe from Exton, he was like, what the hell?
Who's Robert?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. All right. We'll get the lightning round going next, and we will get a winner here, 855-839-1210. Waiting several big things. I think by the end of the day, maybe in Rich's show, we're going to find out, did this judge wipe out the ability to do business in all of New York State for the Trump family, essentially. And we're waiting to see the Biden retaliation, whenever that might come. He kind of tipped his hand somewhat here by some of the statements he's made, which is never a good thing to do. You want to have them guessing, as Trump did. That guessing factor plays well in the Middle East, I think. All right, 855-839-1210. Let me remind you that D-Day, June 6, 1944, this isn't another luxury tour. It's a pilgrimage, and you know why. This is the 80th anniversary coming up of the momentous event you and I called D-Day, Operation Overlord, the invasion that sealed the fate of Adolf Hitler. Be there for the ceremonies, the only day of the year to meet survivors of the invasion. You get 11 days in Europe, fully escorted by America's leading expert on France and the D-Day invasion, Ken Chase. Now, Ken, Conservative Tours, was the host of my most recent trip with listeners to Italy. Can't say enough good things. This guy could have done the Normandy invasion, mapped it out. That's what his tours are like. They are brilliantly done for your comfort, enjoyment, learning, and fun. All this for $55.89, including airfare. You get the Champagne day trip, the City of Light, Paris, the Battle of the Bulge, General Patton's gravesite, the Siegfried Line, Mulberry Harbor, Utah and Juneau, even a king tiger, Bastonia, the foxholes. See where the Rangers scaled the cliffs. See Santa Mare Eglise. And June 6th, this event sells out quickly. Call now to get in on this at 888-733-9494 or go to conservativetours.com. Omaha Beach on June 6th. Be there.
Starting this Thursday, February 1st, Keel & Company will be sending someone on a 7-night Disney cruise for 4 to the Caribbean, and it could be you. Listen for the keyword weekday mornings at 8:30. Then go to 1210WPHT.com and enter for your chance to win. Wish you could show your kids the world? On a Disney Cruise Line vacation this summer? You can. On board, enjoy everything from Disney characters and imaginative dining to exclusive spaces for adults and kids alike. And onshore, sun-drenched beaches, charming locales, and crystal clear waters await. Starting Thursday, listen weekday mornings at 8:30 for the keyword. And then enter for a chance to grant your family's summer vacation wishes today. Because the time to show your kids the world is now from Kale and Company and Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Do you know your numbers? What numbers? Your heart health numbers, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, and your body mass index. They're important, so ask your doctor. Learn your numbers, and if something doesn't seem right with them, see a Deborah specialist at one of our offices throughout South Jersey. After all, when it's your heart, you don't take chances. Find a specialist near you at demanddeborah.org.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics. Call them today. Hey, Dawn Stensland here. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain from arthritis or a past injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility. Reclaim your independence. Walk and run, play, live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Just call my friends at QC Kinetics for a free consultation, 215-999-3000, 215-999-3000. QC Kinetics. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Calling on North Wales to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
Yes, that's exactly right. Before we go to the lightning round, I'm still waiting to see what we're going to do given the deaths of 3 Americans, all those attacks. I'm looking at Rand Paul tweeted out, how many limited wars are enough? And that's going to be the legacy of President Trump. None of these unending limited wars, putting people in harm's way. We don't seem to be able to protect people in those areas. Why are they there? Does it rise to that level where Americans have to die? Is that mission worth it? And it appears to be not. All right, lightning round. Gene Hackman, 94 yesterday, all-time great character actor. This is a pretty good one. I can think of him in so many roles. Jim in Broomall. Jim, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Who's yours, Jim?
Okay, it's somebody that's been in over 150 movies. He's played a female nurse. He's been a priest. He's been almost everything possible. Rod Steiger.
Yeah, they call me Mr. Tibbs when they ask, what are you going to do about that? I don't know. Good one, Jim.
Isn't he in the back seat of the on the waterfront scene?
Is it Rod Steiger or is it? Yes.
Yeah, it is.
No, Charlie. It was you, Charlie.
It all ties
It could have
together.
been somebody, a contender, something. All right. The Earl of Tacony. Oh, this is a good one. Earl, who do you have?
The 2023 Caller of
The
the
last
Year.
day that we're doing this, Tom.
Yeah. I hope you're feeling a little bit better there, Earl.
Trying, but I am Spartacus. I am Robert of Ben Salem. No, maybe I'm not. But my answer is Alan Hale Sr. Now, not the skipper from Gilligan's Island. That's his son, Alan Hale Jr.
Yes.
Alan Hale Sr. was Little John in The Adventures of Robin Hood, and it was fortunate that he was able to act in 13 movies with Errol Flynn, because a lot of leading men refused to work with Alan Hale Sr. because he was such a great character actor. He could just stand in the background, not say anything or do anything, and he would upstage the star.
Yes, you don't want to do that as a character actor. That's a great one. Tom in Marlton. Hey, Tom, how have you been, and what do you have today?
Doing well now, Dom, and good afternoon to you all. This actor's been in over 160 films and some really good ones, Deliverance, All the President's Men, Network, Rudy, Back to School, to name a few. But get this one, too. I think once is enough. He's been married 4 times. Jeez.
Yeah, that counts for him. Now, he does the scene in Network where he tells the guy who's defied the gods, but you, Mr. whatever it is, have defied the laws here, right? That's his scene.
That's old Ned Beatty.
Yeah.
Played a Huggin' Bear in a Toy Story as well.
Okay. Deliverance.
Exactly right. Yes.
Deliverance. He's the perfect character for what happens there, without a doubt. That is a that is a great one. I can see that. Let's go to Chris, who's a YouTube regular in Philly. All right, Chris, what do you have?
Hey, how you doing? I just wanted to chime in on the Facebook thing as a younger member of your followers. Screw that guy. Let's bring back Tom from MySpace.
Just a silent entity.
And,
the guy with the
also-
picture everyone knows.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Also, Kimmy in chat. I always want to say Steve Buscemi. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for that from the younger brigades. I'll get your analysis of Taylor Swift's endorsement. Boy, I'm telling you, the day that happens, Dan, you're going to have a bib on me. You have to have me chained in here when I'm eating that pizza to say I was exactly right. I don't think it'll happen at the Super Bowl. That's too soon. No.
I'll give you plenty of room to gloat.
Oh, it'll be a rolling out tour of all this stuff. All right, one more. John in Belmar. All right, John, who's yours?
She was in 5 decades of movies and television. She's in Citizen Kane, part of Orson Welles' Mercury Theater. She was the mother in Bewitched, Agnes Moorehead. She has like 150 credits.
That is a good one. And we all know that Elizabeth Montgomery is superior to Jeannie. Dan, that's the other one of the Mary Ann and Ginger thing. Look that one up. All right. We had some great answers today. Give me some of the contenders.
Yeah, so Dom, I thought we got the most play out of Norman Fell, Bill in Levittown, who had a good answer. Philadelphia native, Mr. Roper. Strother Martin, a great answer. Females, Kathy Bates, Gary in Newtown. I like Joe Dexton, assuming a different identity, calling with Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah.
But the one that I think kind of stands out, because what makes a great character actor is when you know what they look like and you know who they are, but you don't necessarily recognize the name or the great parts that they're in. And the fact that Rod Steiger's the other guy in the backseat on the waterfront, and it took a second to realize as we were talking about him that, oh man, that's the guy from one of Dom Giordano's favorite scenes. I think that might set it apart as the answer of the day.
Steiger is one of those. He was so powerful. He seems like a leading man, but in the end, I think he's more a character actor. Let's go, Rod Steiger. That's the winner today. We'll have another side question tomorrow, and I think by tomorrow we'll see some big events that are churning up. The Trump case in New York, and what we do in the Middle East. What we ought to do is minimize the number of Americans that are put in harm's way. Can't protect them. You got to evaluate that versus the risk and the mission. Too many there. That's the lesson out of all this. Follow me on Twitter until tomorrow at Dom Show 1210. Rich, see you always next. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Renowned physicist Sir Isaac Newton's third law of physics states that for every action